I want black guys to not be criminals, not be idiots, reject materialism,
I want people to get
invest.
this book named Black Fatigue. It's by Mary Frances Winters. Okay, what's your definition of black fatigue? Go ahead.
Right now.
Okay.
This right now. We're all fucking tired of you, bro. We're all fucking tired of you.
Are you finally ready to admit that Kamala Harris easily would have been a better president than Donald Trump? Thank you.
Yeah, now everything makes sense.
Yeah, I
right?
love hearing that
It's
fat
like,
alcoholic idiot yelling over here.
Myron, listen.
Citizenship.
You're not white.
Sorry.
We don't need you talking to white women, trying to interact with them at all.
And that's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem. I don't need to be white to give a. See, here's the thing.
No,
You're behaving like a black person now. You're tipping out. You're literally behaving like a white person. You are behaving like a black person. So here's the difference. See, here's the funny part.
Not your women.
We're going to get right into it. We're going to have a discussion on whatever you guys want to talk about. We have a couple different topics. One of them is going to be women deserve less. I think we need to, less bitching, more in the kitchen. Women need to go back in the kitchen. What else? I'm not a fan of Jewish power. I think Jews have too much power in America, and they use it for their own purposes to, wage a bunch of wars. That's why we're stuck in Iran and all across the Middle East right now. Did I say Hispanics are drug dealers? Yeah, they're drug dealers. It's like one or two with them. It's either they work really hard and they do roofing or landscaping, like I saw some of them when I was coming here, or they sell lots of cocaine. So that's basically what it is. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. But I think right now we got, what does this say, Sean? It says ICE. We're doing the deportation. Deport our illegals. Okay, cool. But if you have anything else that you want to discuss as well, I'm open to it. And one of the main things that we're going to talk about as well is going to be, I think Chud the Builder did nothing wrong, and I think it was a self-defense case. I think has a very strong self-defense case, despite the fact that people get mad about, oh my God, he says the N-word, oh my God. I mean, who cares, right? It's America. It's freedom of speech, right? No one cares if speech offends you. You got to, fight to defend people's ability to say it, whether you like it or not. Hell, there's a bunch of libtards probably here that I don't like, but I'll still fight for their ability to say the retarded shit that they say, like there's 99 genders or whatever. So we're in the belly of the beast in California. So who's up first? What's up, man?
Myron, my name is Bardia, and first of all, I just want to say welcome to UCLA, welcome to Los Angeles, and I don't know, I just feel like, there's a lot of security and stuff like that, but and I don't mean to put everyone on edge, off the gate.
Here we go.
I don't know, where's the glass, bro? Where's the glass?
Well,
do you know where you are?
Well, here's the thing, man. I'm not too worried. If I die telling the truth, then it is what it is, man. You can't be scared to die, my friend.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to wish you luck. Yeah, I might come back a second time. I just wanted to say hi. I'm a huge fan.
Okay.
Shout out to Jawbreaker Girl. You had her on your show.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember her.
No, I do. She's cool. She's funny.
Yeah, and thank you.
All right. I thought he was gonna go crazy or some shit You said trainers can't have guns? Ah! Go crazy or some shit. You know what I mean? That'd be a bad move. Right? These guys, the UCLA cops are pretty armed to the teeth, man. So it wouldn't be a good idea. But yeah.
Your only relationship started when you were in your mid-30s and also ended in your mid-30s?
Okay.
Why should anybody listen to you for dating
You're the cloud
advice?
chaser guy that got beat by Andrew Wilson, right?
No, I beat Andrew Wilson.
Okay,
Only
you're
dick
that guy.
only dick
That guy.
writers. Only dick writers. Only dick writers think Andrew won. By the way, so
No, he
tell me
absolutely
again. Why
demolished
should
you.
anybody listen to you for
Yeah.
dating? Why should it? Can you shut the fuck up? Can you shut the fuck up, fat ass? Listen.
Yeah, this guy.
Listen.
This guy's a cloud chaser.
No, it's not a cloud chaser. I have a question.
You are. You've been following me all over the place,
You
bro.
literally
You've followed me all
have
over
had
the place.
one
It's kinda
relationship
funny.
in your mid-30s. Why should anybody listen to you for dating advice?
Actually, that's a good question. That's actually. I'm glad that you brought that up.
Oh, are you?
No, I am. I am glad because here's the thing, my friend. I've dated and been around a lot of women.
No, you haven't.
Okay.
Self-admitted you've had one relationship, but keep lying. Go ahead.
Okay. Buddy, you do realize that you don't have to be within the confinements of a traditional relationship to understand and date and be around a lot of women, correct?
So you know a lot about relationships?
Quite a bit, yeah. Quite a bit.
Being in one, you
and
know
then,
a lot
and then
about
most
relationships.
importantly, I understand female nature to a degree to identify which women qualify for a relationship and which ones don't. Now, you might not know that because you're a simp and you're a sucker and you believe in the marriage
And I'm
institution.
married and I've been in many relationships.
See, here's the thing.
Yeah, mhm.
See, sir, that does not qualify you. Being married, that means basically, okay, well, I found a wife, I'm cool or whatever. But that's not the male statistic of success. The male statistic of success is, do women, right, do you have the ability to attract women.
You don't
right?
have the ability to attract women.
Okay, buddy. See,
I have
like,
a
we can't
viral
even-
video. I have a
we can't
viral
even
video.
have-
I have
we
a
can't
viral
even have
video
a-
asking
this guy-
women. I have a viral video asking women, did anybody find Myron Gaines attractive? 3,000 comments. Guess how many women said yes? Take a guess. Take a guess.
So you actually believe women when they tell you what they're attracted to and what they're not?
Am I only supposed to believe you with no experience?
Okay, let me give you an example. As we were driving here, I saw Bundy drive. Are you familiar with the guy Ted Bundy?
Sure.
How many women showed up at his trial?
I'm sure people are crazy and like Ted Bundy.
Okay,
But
so-
you can't attract women. You're
See,
supposedly
this
this high
is-
value man.
Are
You're
you gonna
supposedly.
be quiet as I explain this
Why are
to
we
you?
talking about Ted Bundy?
Because I'm gonna bring this somewhere.
Okay.
The reality is that the things that women are attracted to and aroused by are not politically correct a lot of the times. And women are not going to be honest, and they don't have a vested interest in being honest with what they're attracted and aroused by, because the things that arouse and attract them are not politically correct.
So the women
when
that are
someone like,
attracted
let me
to Ted
finish what I'm
Bundy-
saying.
So the women that are attracted to Ted Bundy, they're being honest, but the women that aren't attracted to you aren't being honest.
Once again, I'm trying to explain to you. Women like bad boys. Women like men that are dangerous. Women tend to be hybristophiliacs significantly more than men, which means they're attracted to men that are dangerous, that are criminals, etc. Now, women aren't going to admit this openly for obvious reasons. So what they tell simps like you, right? I like a guy who's nice. I like a guy who gets me flowers.
They
I
don't
like
say
a guy
that.
who's
They don't
XYZ.
say that.
Yeah, that's what
don't say
the
that.
model
That's-
that you
that-
use
no,
when you
that- they
when you
don't say
dispense your
that.
shitty dating advice. That's
They
what you
don't. No,
dispense.
they don't. I don't say that.
So anyway, like I was saying,
Nice
the
straw
reality
man.
is that women are not going to be honest about what they're attracted to and what they're aroused by.
But you believe
and
the
I'm
Ted
using
Bundy ladies.
I'm using Ted
But
Bundy,
you believe
the
the
Night
Ted Bundy
Stalker,
ladies.
Luigi
You
Mangione.
believe
Why
those
are
ladies-
women? Why
you
are
believe
women?
those ladies, but you don't believe the ones that say you're unattractive?
I believe their actions. If a girl wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go look at some dude's trial, who's a criminal, okay, that she doesn't even know, he doesn't even know that she exists, that tells you where women stand sexually with a lot of things. And again,
It's
like I told you
convenient
before,
what you believe. It's convenient. You
I've
believe
just given you
those
mo-
women,
Jeffrey
but you
Dahmer,
don't believe
Jeffrey
yes,
Jeffrey
you
Dahmer,
believe that those
Ted
women are
Bundy,
attracted to
the
them.
Night
Yes.
Stalker, Richard
You
Ramirez,
believe
Luigi
that those
Mangione.
women are attracted
I'm
to
giving
them,
you
but
an
you
example.
don't believe the women aren't attracted to you. Why do you believe them but not that?
I'm telling you that they're not going to be honest with you and tell you that they're attracted to
Yeah,
me
but
or
they're
not.
honest about
That's
the
not
Ted
really
Bundy.
relevant.
But they're honest about Ted Bundy, but they're not honest about you.
Yeah, they're not going to go on camera and tell some random guy who's like, do you find Myron Gaines attractive, who's a very, radically right-wing guy who's very controversial, whatever. Do you find him attractive? Of course he's going to tell your dumb
You
monkey ass no.
supposedly have
Of course he's
everything.
going to tell you no,
You
bro.
supposedly have everything these women
Like,
want.
You're a
right?
fucking conservative faggot. Of course he's going to
Okay,
tell you
yeah.
no. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
You've had
like,
one
dude, I do
girlfriend
Roman
as a
salutes. I call out
mid-30s.
Jews. I call people kikes and
Yeah,
niggas.
you've had
of course
one
he's going to
girlfriend
say,
as an
of
old
course he's
40-year-old
going to say
man.
no.
Okay. Yeah.
Of
so
course
you
he's going to say
yeah,
no.
you believe
It's
what you
not
want to
politically
believe.
correct
You believe what
to
you
be
want to
attracted to
believe
guys
and
like
ignore
me.
everything else. I got it.
Okay,
yeah.
buddy. Anyway, back to
That's
what I was saying.
ignorance.
Okay, back to what I was saying. Whether you think I'm attractive or the weird women that you ask think I'm attractive is
Weird
irrelevant. The
women.
point I'm trying to make is that I've been with a lot
Why
of
don't you ask
women.
the women here.
Are you going to let me finish what I'm saying? Because you're the one that's making the claim that I don't know anything about females, whatever.
You don't.
Okay, sure. We just built a very successful podcast, saving guys from killing
By
themselves,
controversy.
whatever.
By controversy. By getting
No,
this
no,
guy
no.
to
You know
like
what? Because for telling the truth. And the truth is
No,
what I
because
said
you're
before.
controversy. Rage bait is popular. It's not because you're telling the truth. It's because people love rage bait, and that's what you do. You're the king of rage bait, and people love that
I
shit.
just proved you wrong
People
a second
like
ago.
this guy. I love
Explaining
that
to you
shit.
that women like bad boys, women like
Then
hybristophiliacs,
why
women
don't
like
they
guys
like
that
you?
are murderers.
Then why don't they like you?
How do you know they don't?
Because I know they don't.
Okay.
Prove that they do. Prove that women like you.
Again, do a
Prove that
survey.
women like you.
Some fucking woman in the back.
Angie said she's happier without you. The only girlfriend you've had says she's happier without you. So that's the proof I need. You've had one girlfriend. She says she's better without you. So that's enough proof for me.
So when I say when it comes to girlfriend, right? That was the only girl that I like provided for, took care of, etc. All the other girls that I've been with, I've had plenty of relationships. I've had 3 to 4 girlfriends at a time. Had a bunch of women. So, but the only girl that I decided, you know what? I want to take this to the next level,
Sure.
provide for everything
That's
else like that,
convenient.
because I have a vetting phase,
Yeah,
right?
the only girl you put on
Are you
camera.
gonna let me talk or not? Because you're the
If
one
gonna
making
keep
the
lying,
accusation.
If you're
making
gonna keep
these
lying,
claims.
if you're gonna keep saying stupid shit, then yeah, I'm gonna interrupt you.
No, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So I'm explaining to you what it is. You're over here making these claims that are completely wrong.
Sure.
This is why you don't have an audience. Nobody watches you. That's
I
why
have
nobody knows who the
100,000
fuck you
followers
are.
in less than
That's
a
why
year.
you've been
but okay.
following me.
I have 100,000
That's why you've
followers
been following
in
me
less
around
than a year.
everywhere.
I live here.
You-
I'm not
you-
following you anywhere.
Oh, I didn't just see you fucking Arizona before?
Yeah,
You didn't
so
follow
what?
me
I
there?
went
You
with the
fucking
Unfuck
weirdo?
America tour.
Like,
I
get the
went
fuck
with the
out of here.
Unfuck America. What
This
were you
guy-
doing
this
there?
Guy, this guy's
I
literally
went with the
following me
Unfuck
everywhere.
America
I
tour.
don't follow you. What are
I
you doing in
went with
Arizona?
the
Well, I was there.
Did I know you were gonna be there? I went to the Unfuck America tour, dumbass. I didn't know you were gonna be there.
You definitely did.
No, I didn't.
You definitely
You said
did.
you weren't gonna be
You
there.
definitely
So why
did.
did I think you were
Because you
gonna
work
be
with
there?
a fat Jew. You did know. You
Well,
worked
you
with
know
a fat
who I
Jew,
am. I don't
you
have an
knew who was-
audience yet. You know who
No,
I
I don't
am.
even know who
Isn't
your
that
name is, bro.
interesting?
I
You know
really
who the
don't know.
fuck
You
I
just
am.
I just know that
Stop
you're a
lying.
cuckolded
You know
guy
who I
that's
am.
married that got
Yeah.
demolished by
I have
Andrew Wilson.
100,000 followers in less than a year.
Congratulations.
You know who I am. Yeah,
Congratulations,
you know who I am.
100,000.
Exactly.
That's still insignificant. Nobody knows who the fuck you are or cares.
You do.
But the point I'm trying to make is, yeah, because I knew right away as soon as you were recording, I was like, oh, this fucking weirdo guy.
Yeah,
of
this
course.
weirdo.
Waiting the whole time. But again, I proved you wrong.
You
Women
did
like
not
bad
prove me
boys.
wrong.
You can sit there and say, I don't think you get girls. Okay, bro,
don't.
that's demonstrably false, but that's
Everybody
fine.
knows you
I'm not
don't
going to
get
sit
girls.
here and tell you I've had sex with this many girls. That's irrelevant. The point I'm trying to make is I've talked to a bunch of women, almost 4,000. I've been with a lot of women. I am very selective on the girls that I date and take seriously and or put in any type of long-term relationship where I might pay for anything. So just the fact that you saw one of them, which was Angie, was the only girl that
only
I
one?
actually like paid for and took care of, that was only one. But I've been with
only one?
hundreds of girls before that. So I am very selective on which girls I take seriously. I have a very strict vetting phase. I teach guys how to do that. You might not like that. You don't understand that. But you're playing by a whole other... You don't understand how modern women move nowadays. And that's the issue. You're
How
a
do you
married
know I don't
guy.
know how modern
You're out the
women
fucking
move?
game. You don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
not
Quite
off the
frankly,
game.
there's a reason why nobody watches you. So get the fuck off the mic. Nobody cares, faggot.
Okay.
So
All
we're
right,
going to go to the
loser.
next person. Get the fuck out of here. Like, dude, these liberal faggots are retarded. Dude, follow me around and shit like that. Like, you're a faggot. And we need to go back to telling people. Here's another thing also. To be honest here. We need to go back to telling people they're fucking stupid. We don't do that enough. We sit there, oh, I got ADD, I got ADHD, I have this problem where I can't focus or whatever, I have hyper attention. No, you're just fucking stupid. We need to go back to telling people they're fucking dumb. They get demonstrated. Yeah, we need to bring back bullying as well. Like, someone comes in and says something demonstrably false. I asked 100 women and they all said they didn't like you. Okay, bro, women are never honest about what they like. If women were honest about what they like, they would say, okay, I want you to ignore me when I call you. I want you to play hard to get. I want you to have multiple women to have pre-selection. I want you to dress well, be in the gym, not take me seriously, always look at me as an afterthought, focus on everything else about being a better man and not focus on me, and be toxic every now and then and tell me to shut the fuck up. Women would never admit this to you, though, would they? That fucking faggot thinks they will because he's retarded. And this is exactly why so many guys struggle. Stupid dating coaches like that cucked out fag who's been married forever doesn't understand how modern women are. Now, there's some women here that are probably mad at hearing that. That's so offensive. That's so misogynistic. Guess what? I'm fucking realistic when it comes to women. I've written books about this shit. Amazon bestseller. Why Women Deserve Less. Feel free to get it. Why Women Deserve Even Less is book 2, and then book 3, Why Women Deserve Nothing, coming very soon. But the point I'm trying to make is that what women say and what they're attracted to and respond to favorably are two different fucking things. And that guy just demonstrated he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. You get no girls. Okay, buddy. Sure. Well, what's up, man? Welcome.
Hey, man. Thank you. My name's Jack. I'm a medical student here at UCLA. I wanted to ask you a little bit about like Israel, maybe the Middle East. We just restate.
Let's do it.
Restate what you were saying about that
Since we're
before.
talking about this topic. Go ahead.
You wanna summarize the book for me? I haven't read it.
You never said
Oh, I've heard of it. I've heard of the book. I haven't read it.
basically Jews do some dumb shit.
Wait, tell me, what were you saying about like Israel and the Middle East? I mean, I know kind of more about recent history, not about the older stuff.
Well, I mean, if we're going to be simple, the state of Israel is a parasite. We need to stop giving them aid. They create a lot of problems for us, geopolitical problems all over. Many of the Middle Eastern wars that we have are because of them, and I think they're a huge obstacle to diplomacy.
Okay, just my perspective. I was in the military before medical school. A couple deployments to the Middle East. We definitely got some intelligence from the Israelis. It was super helpful. They had great intelligence. I appreciated that. But specifically with like the recent conflict kicking off, after October 7th with Hamas kind of inciting it. Do you have thoughts on that? Like putting more of the blame on one side or the other?
Okay, so you think Hamas incited on October 7th?
I actually, from my perspective, we always saw Hamas as one of the SMGs, one of the Shia militia groups. More of my experiences with like the Houthis in Yemen, maybe a little bit preparing for like Western Iraq, dealing with like the Kataib Hezbollah in Al-Anbar province. But I always saw them as just effectively arms of the Iranian government.
Yeah, so, and this is kind of like the issue here is that we always start the conflict off at October 7th. We don't start it, May 15, 1948. We don't start it before that. And I always say this all the time, like when it comes to Zionists in Israel and, a lot of the times Fox News or whatever, they'll always start the conflict in the middle. Like, oh, let's start on October 7th. Let's talk about like, the destruction of cutting the grass, killing Palestinians, taking them prisoner, expanding the West Bank, violating every peace agreement. Like, let's not talk about any of the other stuff that led to this. Let's not talk about the Red Cows. Let's not talk about destroying the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Let's not talk about the Abraham Accords. Let's not talk about, sabotage the Oslo Accords. They never ever give you like the full context of why things happen. Now, let me be clear. What occurred on October 7th was horrible. It was like I don't condone the death of any innocent civilian ever, but we have to be very honest here and realize that Israel has been an extremely aggressive state for a very long time and created a lot of the problems that they kind of bring on themselves. And if they exercise a bit more diplomacy and they weren't killing Muslims and stealing land and doing all the other stuff they do, they wouldn't have the problems that they have. And unfortunately, in Western media, we don't talk about this because Jewish supremacy is a thing. The media is controlled by them. They obviously curate a certain narrative to make sure that people don't get the truth about what's going on in the Middle East. But they are the aggressor in a large amount of the conflicts.
I hear you there. It reminds me a little bit about this thing that bothers me here at UCLA. I'm curious, you might share my opinion. We always do land acknowledgements here where we talk about how this land isn't Americans or isn't ours. We go back to the tribe that had it before we got here. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I think that's I don't think that's really the same because when it comes to what's going on with Israel-Palestine, that's a bit different than what we have going on over here. I would not consider them the same.
Well, I understand, immediately after the World Wars, when they kind of made that land Israel and said the Jews are going to have a home state here, that there's this issue. I feel like 300 years later, if it's all kind of distant past, and
I'm actually not opposed to Jews living there.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I think, the existence of Israel with the destruction of Palestine is the problem. Like, if they had like a one-state solution or a two-state solution, I'd be cool with that. I don't have a problem with Jews living in the land at all. I just think that the way they're going about it is horrible, and it doesn't make sense. And then the worst part is that we get dragged into their aggression, which creates a lot of problems. Like right now, the war that we have with Iran, Trump can't get a deal because of the Israelis. Like, that's literally where we are right now. If we're gonna, fast forward it, like, we literally cannot strike a deal right now with the Iranians because the Israelis refuse to stop bombing Lebanon.
I'm not sure I agree with you there. Maybe rewinding a little bit, you talked about
Okay,
Israel.
are you aware of the fact that like Marco Rubio admitted days after the attack on February 28th that he said that we attacked and we got involved because we knew that the Israelis were going to attack, and if the Israelis attacked, that would have meant that Iran is going to attack us anyway because the Iranians warned the United States and Israel that if an attack from either one of us comes, they're going to attack both of us as if it's one because they look at it as one. So that's why we had to get involved. Also, Trump relied heavily upon Mossad and Israeli intelligence to decide whether he was going to do the strikes on February 28th, despite the fact that his entire intelligence apparatus told him not to do it, and you're not going to get a regime change, and killing Ali Khamenei alongside many of his other military officials is not going to lead to anything. And now we're in the political quagmire that we are now, where the Strait of Hormuz is basically closed. Gas prices are through the roof. We have the worst energy crisis ever. Our military bases all across the region are pretty much destroyed. We have 13 or 14 service members that are dead that should be alive right now. Like, it's been a complete disaster, and Trump relied heavily upon Israeli intelligence to do that strike.
Mm-hmm. Neither of that surprises me too much. And I don't think our position is quite as weak as you're making it with regard to like the bases and our forces in the region. I can tell you, like,
they're basically unusable at this point.
Which bases?
All 11 or 13 of the bases in the region have pretty much been destroyed, and they're unusable or they're at significantly lowered capacity. And on top of that,
like the bases in Saudi, like
yeah, they hit Udead, they hit the base in Saudi Arabia. They hit a lot of them. CNN came out and did a report not too long ago talking about this in detail, how a lot of the bases are pretty much almost unusable. This is why in the beginning of the war, a lot of the hotels were hit in Dubai and a lot of these different places because they had to move military personnel from the bases for safety reasons. And then the other thing too, right, is basically all of our allies in the Gulf have been getting attacked because we can't defend them the way that we are supposed to. Like,
but that's been going on forever. All the Gulf allies. I worked with those guys, like the whole Saudi.
Yeah, but Iran's never attacked them and basically shown that we can't defend our allies to this extent.
Absolutely. No, I was there in 2020, right on the border between Saudi and Yemen, and Iran was having the Houthi rebels constantly do drone strikes. The Houthi rebels are the most well-resourced of all the Shia militias.
Sure, but like but they've never been hit like this by Iran. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like, Iran has never struck our bases in the region to this degree and caused this significant level of damage. We're talking about destroying radars, billions of dollars of damage. Like, And here's the problem. We've basically been shown to be a paper tiger in the region where we cannot defend our allies. That's the biggest issue.
We had the first submarine on ship kill since the World Wars. I think we've had some. If we've had some collateral.
Yeah, that was a ship of guys coming back from like from a trip from India, or it was Pakistan, or I think it was India. They were coming back after doing like some type of some drill. It was like they were there in like military garb. It was like a party type thing. It wasn't even like
a legitimate military target. They got a
well,
warship.
yeah, but that's not really like something to brag about. Like, oh, look, we sunk our ship. Like, okay, Iran has no real navy. Iran has no real air force. Like, the big reason why we went to war with them, like, what are the strategic objectives that we went to war for? Three main reasons. Well, yeah, three main reasons. Their nuclear program, their enrichment, the ballistic missile program, and then the proxies. They still have all three intact.
I think the proxies have never been weaker. And can I just share, like, the way I thought
Hezbollah
about
is fucking
Iran.
up Israel right now as we speak. They're drone striking, and there's literally almost a 1-for-1 when it comes to IDF soldiers versus Hezbollah fighters getting killed.
Well, that's because Israel has to exercise so much restraint in killing the Hezbollah.
They don't restrain anything.
Oh, I think they do quite a lot.
They literally bomb. They've been bombing southern Lebanon relentlessly over the past several since the beginning of the war almost.
You're talking about like Hezbollah and Beirut?
Yeah, they've been bombing southern Lebanon, and they've been not even. They're saying they're attacking Hezbollah, but they bomb villages. They don't care. Did you see Gaza? They don't. Israelis don't care about any type of restraint.
No, I think they are showing restraint. I think they warn the people. They try and get people out. See, we were accused of this when I was in Yemen by like the UN, by some other Western media, and they were wrong. We were showing a lot of restraint. We were doing everything we could to kind of mitigate the risk in the conflict. One thing we started doing, which took a lot of risk on our guys, is we do like maritime interdictions in the Red Sea, trying to intercept munitions rather than risk
the United
more
States is not the same as
deaths.
Israel. Israel does not care. Israel does not care at all. There's a reason why they get caught doing a whole bunch of bullshit, stealing technology from us. They're spying on their partners all the time. They did a genocide in Gaza. Every genocide expert, humanitarian rights group has pretty much designated what happened in Gaza was genocide. They're not us. Like, there's a reason why there's an arrest warrant right now for Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant. Like, the Israelis do not care.
Did you also agree that
they
like,
bombed
the Saudi,
their allies in Qatar? Yeah. Like,
do you also agree that the Saudi-led coalition, like when they would attack Yemen, or it's very similar, attack the Houthis and hit civilians sometimes, were guilty of like genocide?
yeah, you can make that argument. Yeah.
It bothered me when people made that argument. It really kind of like limited our ability to do what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Let me share just like the way I thought about Iran, which was this: like they were dangerous not because they were suicidal and they were going to kick off World War III, but they were dangerous because they were critically ill. And the idea then is that the regime's not entirely popular with their home people. If they get these nuclear weapons in the dying days of the regime, there's nothing to stop them from launching them at all their enemies, whether that's the other Gulf states, all the Sunni states, whether that's Israel, whether that's like whatever American proxies in the region. And because of that, there were kind of two ways you could go about it. I was in the military under like Obama's administration, and he would try to kind of pay them off. Sometimes he'd be accused of funding terrorism, but the idea was we'll just wait them out. Maybe some of this money will go to the proxies, but in the end, we're going to avert a larger conflict. And the other way you can handle it is a little tougher on Iran, and it's kind of what we're doing now, where
that's foolish.
I think the jury's still out.
Leaving the JCPOA was retarded. It was absolutely stupid. Because once we left the JCPOA, that basically, emboldened them to start enriching at a higher level.
I don't think they were following it beforehand.
No, they absolutely were. IAEA was there. Okay, so here's the thing. Everyone talks about like, they were getting nuclear weapons, but no one ever talks about what led up to that. 2015, we entered the JCPOA. 2016, Trump comes into power. 2018, he pulls out of the JCPOA. 2019, Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, who's owned by the Jews, designates the IRGC as a terrorist group. After he designates them as a terrorist group, Trump attacks and kills Qasem Soleimani. After he kills Qasem Soleimani, obviously they also put in crippling sanctions. So if you're doing all this and then you're also enabling the Israelis to do whatever they want, moving the embassy, creating the Abraham Accords, trying to get around the Palestine question, well, of course they're going to enrich at a higher level because of U.S. aggression alongside Israeli aggression. We're talking about two nuclear armed powers. So what Iran was doing from a strategic standpoint was maintaining what's called a nuclear threshold state, where we're going to enrich at a certain level where we can deter. That's what it's always been about. And Iran has been extremely measured in a lot of their responses. And I hate that I have to say this all the time because I don't like Iran. I don't care about the IRGC. Like, I'm not a fan of these countries, but it is so incredible how much disinformation that Fox News and American media in general puts out, where so many Americans probably don't even know what I'm talking about right now. because they always talk about, well, they were going to get nukes. They're going to get nukes. Well, let's talk about why were they trying to get nukes? What did we do? We pulled out the JCPOA. We left it. And then they're like, well, we have nothing else to do because the JCPOA was to relieve sanctions. We pulled out of that. And I think that would have been a fantastic thing. And then one other thing I'll say is on February 27th, the day before we attacked them, while we were doing negotiations, by the way, for the second time we attacked them, the Oman person, right? Someone needs to put those women in the kitchen. Why are these, what the hell's going on here, right? Less bitchin', more kitchen. They're kids? Oh, my bad. I can't, my vision sucks. So, yeah, I didn't know what the hell was going on there. I was like, what the hell? Sorry, I get used to it because women always protest on my thing. So I'm like, oh, is that female? What's going on here? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I can't see. But back to what I was saying. So they had a deal on the table. Oman had struck something very close to the JCPOA on top of no stockpiling, which was one of the things that they were worried about. So Trump could have got a better deal, made Obama look bad. He had it on February 27th. It was a good framework, but they attacked anyway because he relied upon stupid Israeli intelligence.
In my impression, a lot of the intelligence we got was pretty helpful from the Israelis. This could have been, it could have been wrong this time.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have a roommate, right? You
Yep.
said you're in med school, which is great. And thank you for your service, by the way. And I know we might disagree on some of this stuff, but the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I don't want able-bodied, intelligent individuals that serve in our military to go fight foreign wars in foreign lands that don't benefit the United States. I don't think the wars in the Middle East are strategically beneficial for us anyway. And I'm just honest about it that the Jews send us these wars and it's a fucking problem. But going back to what I was saying, let's say you have a roommate, right? Your place is spick and clean all the time. You bring a roommate in. Roommate, very dirty, leaves food everywhere. Next thing you know, you got a roach problem, right? Roaches are coming all over the place, whatever. You tell him, hey, dude, you got to fix this. What's going on here? I'm helping you out. If you don't fix this, we're going to get you out of here. He hires an exterminator. Exterminator gets rid of, let's say, 80% of the roaches. But every now and then, you still see a roach when you're studying. Would have you been better off without the roaches being there in the first place and without the guy being there?
I agree.
Okay, that's Israeli intelligence and them killing terrorists. They're the ones that brought the problem in. They fixed the problem a little bit, but they forget the fact that they're the ones that brought the roaches in the first place by doing the shit that they do. So in other words, there would be no need for Israeli intelligence. There'd be no need to kill terrorists if it weren't for Israeli aggression in the first place.
I think even if you take the Israelis out, you're still going to have the conflict between basically the Shia states and the Sunni powers. That's been going on for a long time independently. It just doesn't get the same amount of, news coverage.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But the Israel problem, that skirmishes here and there. But the Israel problem
Yemen was the most dangerous place in the world when I was there. It was
that's
a
fine.
huge five-party civil war, tons of death.
That's fine. But why are we involved? Why are we even there? We're there because of Israel.
No, we were there because of the Saudis. My team, we were the first team into this certain area of Saudi. And the Saudis specifically requested us shortly after
But
COVID.
here's the thing. We're not constantly fighting with the Houthis. We had a ceasefire with them not too long ago because they were obviously, boarding ships all over the place. Our involvement in the Middle East, right, to the significant extent that we have, we helped out the Saudis, whatever, but it's still not to the same of significance like we are when it comes to Israelis. Iraq, Israel. What we're doing in Iran right now, Israel. A lot of things that we've done. Getting Bashar al-Assad out of there, obviously the conflict in Lebanon, all issues with the Israelis, man. If we didn't have them there, right, or if they at least exercise some level of diplomacy, we wouldn't be stuck in quagmires all across the Middle East, and we'd be able to focus on other threats, like I think China or Russia.
See, when I spent all those years going back and forth to the Middle East, and in Iraq we're dealing with Iran, and then in Yemen we're dealing with Iran, now you're talking about, the West Bank or Gaza we're dealing with Iran, it starts to look to me like Iran's the bad actor we need to deal with. And I'm actually pretty confident, I'm pretty hopeful that this might be kind of like a table turn in the Middle East. It's not like a wrapped up gift. I think it's still the conflict is not yet clear how it's
I would argue
come to an
Israel's a significantly worse actor than Iran. I would argue Iran is significantly more measured in their warfare than Israel is. October 7th happened. They lost 1,000 people roughly, which many of them were killed by their own people with the Hannibal Directive. What did they do? They did a genocide and they started a war in 6 or 7 different countries. Iran lost 1,000 people with Operation Rising Lion. What did they do? They did a ceasefire. They did a symbolic strike on El Udeid and ended the war. After getting bombed by the U.S. and by Israel, I would argue they're far more rational than the Israelis.
Let me ask you this. If 10 years from now...
Same casualty number, by the way.
Mm-hmm. If you see 10 years from now, the Middle East is a much more peaceful place, are you open to considering that maybe taking out Iran was one of the better steps to get to that point?
taking out Iran isn't going to be the thing that stabilizes the Middle East. It's going to be restraining Israel's aggressive foreign policy.
Well, no, because Israel's so friendly with all the Gulf states now. I think a lot of the reason
really.
that Iran provoked this war
Not
is
really.
because places like the Saudi, UAE,
The only
the
only country in the Gulf that recognizes them is the UAE. No other country recognizes their sovereignty, and it's because of the Palestine question. This all, honestly, would be ended if they gave the Palestinians some type of like actual citizenship or some type of right of recognition or sovereignty.
Hasn't that been offered a few times?
No, not really. They've basically tried to do diplomacy, but it's been like backhanded. Like the Oslo Accords, for example, which is the closest thing that would be, which was negotiated. Netanyahu has been sabotaging that for decades.
See, I'm of the belief that if they did that tomorrow, it would help, but I think you'd still have Iran provoking conflict again, whether that's in any
No,
of
you would
these
disarm the
countries or
proxies
locations.
immediately. The proxies pretty much fight because on behalf of the Palestinians. Like that would be a huge barrier gone to open up diplomacy.
Wait, the Houthis weren't doing it on behalf of the Palestinians.
Yes, they are.
Not in Yemen.
That's the whole acts of resistance exist to encircle and attack Israel for their aggression. That's why they started attacking them after October 7th to assist.
Yeah, they
Hamas.
got involved on behalf of the other Shia militia group. But before October 7th, the Houthis were constantly attacking Saudi.
Yeah, sure. But like, what did they focus on after? They've always had issues with the Saudi Arabians. What did they start focusing on after
It was
October
only a little
7th?
bit. It was only like the vast majority of their firepower.
We're talking
their
about like
strikes, their
2015.
ballistic
You're
missiles.
talking about like stuff in 2015. But I'm talking about like more recently. Like it's been, you can have skirmishes here and there, but like the main issue is Israel.
But see, there was an open conflict between Israel and Palestine back in 2020 when I was there, and there was a lot of conflict going on with the Houthis.
There's always been conflict, man.
No, I hear you. It just wasn't nearly as like open and widespread as we're talking right now.
Because it doesn't get reported. No one even understood what was going on over there because if you went on YouTube and you talked about this topic, you would get banned immediately.
Yes.
Susan Wojcicki, the head of YouTube at the time, was a hardcore Zionist. Mark Zuckerberg, if you look at all the big tech companies and social media companies, all Zionist Jews.
Yeah, to your point about media, my impression being over there was the media was much more on the side of like kind of the Houthis than it should have been. I don't want to get like I don't want to monopolize your time here either.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We can go to the next person. But no, I mean, like I said before, I think I see your arguments with Iran and everything else like that. But I think Israel is a significantly worse state than Iran is. Now, with that said, I want to be clear. I don't love Iran. I don't care about the IRGC. I'm actually pissed off that I have to constantly tell the truth about these guys and put them in a more favorable light. But the reality is that we don't get told the truth when it comes to Western media in America, and a lot of people are not aware of this stuff. And I think if more Americans understood, hey, this is the truth when it comes to the Iran-Israel conflict and what's been going on and understanding Middle Eastern foreign policy, they would realize oh crap, what are we doing supporting these guys? These dudes literally are doing all kinds of crap, right? We give them aid, they do genocides, they get diplomatic cover, and they get a significant amount of benefit from us while dragging us into foreign conflicts like right now with Iran, and we can't even come to a peace deal because Netanyahu literally bombed Lebanon the day after Trump said we're in the middle of a deal, we're so close. What'd he do? Killed like 1,000 people the next fucking day. That's what the Israelis do. They sabotage.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you out here sharing your views, man.
No problem, man. Thank you. Good discussion. Higher IQ discussion, unlike the other retard.
Yeah.
The cuck. What's up?
What's up, Myron? Hey, I've just been observing you for like 5, years.
Yeah.
I'm here to talk about, basically the black community, and basically just identify who you are and just identify your real message. So the first question is, do you find it uneasy in your eyes that white people in America has to compete for things they want in life?
Do I find it uneasy that white people have to compete for things?
Yeah, like when it comes to competition, civil competition, they got to look at a black man at eye level to compete for something. Do you find that kind of uneasy, just in general, in everything?
I think everyone has to compete, and I think that's good.
Okay. I mean, this from observing to you, I mean, it is, when I'm looking at your streams and stuff like that, it just seems like you just find it unwell for people to compete against another person of color. I'll go to the next question.
No, I'm for open competition. I think I think we should operate on a meritocracy, not to fill DEI quotas.
Okay. To keep it real, do you think civil rights was a mistake? If so, how?
No, I don't think it was a mistake. I think obviously giving everybody the equality of opportunity was important, but now we've gotten to a point now where it's equality of outcome, and that's the problem.
Okay. Okay, and so within your talks, was Kick YouTube, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can you be so passionate about claiming black people are the bottom of the barrel and has low IQ, but sit there and surround yourself with practically his entire teams with blacks, from learning the aspects of real estate to standing up for yourself and to making constant content and bringing up ideas? Like, for example, like Marquette Davies and Brandon Carter, Tristan and Andrew Tate, stuff like that.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I acknowledge individual skill sets, right? I'm black myself, but when I say things, I'm talking about it generally. And, it tends to be like, and it's interesting because, like, black people and Jews are the people that get the most offended. If I say something critical of black people.
I want to keep this in mind. All right. I know a good learning aspect for people to learn. So with Jews, right, the first Jews are black. Okay, when you look in the Bible, the scriptures and shit like that, okay, everybody on there is niggas. So you got to keep in mind, just with the times when you start explaining about Jews, you got to identify the person first. So Caucasian Jews.
Okay, that's not the point I'm trying to make.
Emphasize that because when you talk about Jews and shit like that, they think of white first, and that's not how it is. They got to think the totality of what the Jews is, and it's also a religious practice. It's not an ethnicity.
It actually is an ethnicity.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. There's a reason why there's Jews that are Muslim. There's a reason why there's Jews that are Christian. There's a reason why there's Jews that are atheists, etc. They're an ethno-religion by far.
Doesn't just because you claim Jews, it doesn't classify them as a different being. They're still white at the end of the day. I just want to emphasize.
No,
that.
They're not white, and that's quite literally that's. See, and this is the thing with the black community. A lot of times, you guys will complain about systemic racism or white supremacy or whatever. A lot of the times, the people that you guys are pissed off at that are oppressing you.
To look this shit up too. This is UCLA. This is the
Anyway.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that you'll be pissed off at or say that are oppressing you or whatever, really a lot of times end up being Jews. It's just that they look like they're white because they're maybe
they're
from
Caucasian,
Ukraine or
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You can say that. You can say
I
that.
Say that. Yeah,
but they're Jewish. There's a reason why they'll sit there and be like, well, you got to remove white people or whatever. Why do you think Ashkenazi Jews who look white are some of the biggest opponents of white nationalists or white identitarians, etc.? It's because they don't identify as white. Now, they'll identify as white when it benefits them, but there's a reason why someone like a Ben Shapiro, when he's asked, are you white? He doesn't know what to say because they don't identify as white realistically. They identify as Jewish, okay? Now, with that said, and that's a big part of their right of return. So they absolutely have an identity that you can do a whole DNA test.
Practice.
It's a religion and
it's a religious practice.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead.
Let's go back to what we were originally discussing. You were saying that I said something about I am critical of the black community despite the fact that I have black people that work with me and that there's other black people that are intelligent. Great.
Basically, you use their ideologies like real estate, standing up for yourself, and shit like that. And then you kind of, turn it against people of color. I don't know. Go ahead.
What do you mean by that? I turn it by.
No, you sit there, you preach about men, about making money and stuff like that. But you're really trying to turn that into the white audience. You really don't really preach about how to uplift the black community, and that's why I'm trying to emphasize.
It's actually quite the contrary. I get black people calling into my show all the time. One guy called in literally the other day. Hey, I want to buy Audi I.E., but I want to get into real estate. You know what I told him? You buy 5 houses, you buy real estate, you get passive income, you take that passive income, and then you use that to pay off your liability. I tell people all the time, don't do the nigga shit. Don't buy the Jordans. Don't buy the fancy clothing. Don't buy the designer. Don't spend money on fine dining. I tell them all the time that none of this stuff is going to benefit. Can you let me finish my point?
Yeah, like Marquette Davidson taught you some nigga shit.
Can you let me finish?
Marquette Davidson taught you some nigga shit. He taught you on the low how to fight and how to stand up for yourself.
He didn't teach me nothing. He didn't teach me anything. Anyway, so back to what I was saying, right?
Hey, that's what he said on the film.
Yeah, then that's not true. That's not true. He didn't teach me anything.
Even doing his practices right now,
he didn't
standing
teach me
up for yourself.
He didn't teach me anything. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So I actually tell guys all the time, reject materialism, focus on buying real estate, invest, save your money, don't be an idiot, and live way below your means. That's what I tell guys all the time. I told people that literally on a call-in show the other day. Now, when it comes to the whole race thing, whatever, see, this is the issue that I have. If I'm critical of the black community and I say things like, hey, stop being a nigga, stop buying Jordans, stop buying, stop drinking alcohol, stop getting Hennessy, stop buying Timberland, stop doing all this dumb shit. Let me finish saying what I'm saying. Okay, stop hanging out with idiots. Stop being a moron. You know what I mean? Don't commit crimes. Whatever. Whenever I say these things, they say, "Oh, you're racist. Oh, you're a bigot. Oh, you're an Uncle Tom. Oh, you're a coon." Blah blah blah.
But you are,
and
though.
that's fine. You can say what you want to say. I think I'm giving some sound advice and trying to keep black men from doing dumb shit and not having a victim mindset like you have
Hey,
right now.
I see
Because when I
black people
criticize
around this crowd right now, they
other
ain't
groups
doing
of
some
people,
dumb
see,
shit.
this is what I'm talking about, bro.
They
Like
ain't
this
doing some nigga
is a
shit.
black fatigue right now. You can't even let me finish saying what I'm saying.
Let's go into it.
This is the black
Let's go
fatigue
into
right
it.
now.
Black fatigue.
Right? This no.
Let's go
This
into
is
it.
it right now.
What's the definition?
I'm trying to explain what I'm trying to say. You're constantly interrupting, right? I'm explaining and giving you my real position, and this is what I was trying to say before. When I criticize other groups of people, they don't cry and complain as much as the black community and the Jewish community do. They cry so much. Call me a racist, call me an anti-Semite, but you guys can never call me a liar, which is the point. As long as you can, until you can call me a liar, quite frankly, I don't care about your opinion or what you think.
Okay,
you
I got
call
you.
me a coon or an anti-Semite or an Uncle Tom. I'm just keeping it real.
This is
I
a lie.
want
This
black
is
guys
off
to
of
not be
emotions and
criminals,
shit. I
not
want
be
people-
idiots,
hey, I want
reject
people to-
materialism,
I want people to get
invest.
this book named Black Fatigue. It's by Mary Frances Winters. Okay, what's your definition of black fatigue? Go ahead.
Right, this right now.
Okay.
This right now. We're all fucking tired of you, bro.
Look here,
We're all
look here.
fucking tired of you.
Look.
See, this is what I'm
Black
talking. Like, yo, see, let me just look. Let me keep it real with you, okay? Because you're talking about some book from before. I'm talking about the colloquial sense
want
right
people to
now.
get that book
Black
to know
fatigue
what black
now
fatigue really
is
means.
like the black fatigue now is where we can't be honest about criticisms of the black community, because if we do say anything about blacks, it's immediately met with, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you need to lose your job, get out of here. This is why people are tired around being around blacks. We don't want to live around y'all niggas. You guys are annoying. You guys are fucking loud, obnoxious. You can't even let us finish our sentences like before, like right what you're saying before, bringing up a whole bunch of irrelevant shits as I'm explaining what I'm talking about. You mischaracterize my positions. You don't really big up the black community. Really? I've talked to so many young black men and told them, yo, don't do this. Don't do that. Do not fall for this temptation here. Save your money. No materialism. Don't buy the fucking designer. It's stupid. It's not going to help you. Do not lease that car. Do not do that shit. Save your money. Invest in real estate. But of course, you're going to look at that. You hate black people. Actually, no.
never
I just
said
tell them
that.
what they need to
I
hear
just-
versus what they want to hear.
No. All right, so the definition of black fatigue by the book. All right, black fatigue is a repeated variations of stress that results in extreme exhaustion and cause mental, physical, and spiritual maladies that are passed down from generation to generation. That's on page 11. All right, that bullshit that he put out was just off of emotions and shit. If you don't want to live around blacks, that's on you.
Nobody wants to live around blacks, bro. Nobody wants to live
Who
around blacks.
gives a fuck? I want blacks to live amongst each other and build each other up. That's the whole point.
Great.
But the thing is, you don't
But that
push
does not
that.
refute what I said. No one wants to live around blacks because of this.
That doesn't affect blacks at all. That's a them problem. And also on page 11, they also
Didn't refute what I said, though. Nobody wants to live around blacks, bro. Like it is what it is.
But
like they don't want to be around
coming
them.
out here trying to get their validation. They're trying to build
And
each
you're
other up
using
and get left the fuck
like
alone.
because
the whole point is to be left alone.
There's certain terms that like have a textbook definition, then there's terms that have like more colloquial like modern definitions. And the black fatigue is a relatively new thing that's come over the past several years, where people are tired of having to bite their tongues or not say what they want to say about black people because they're scared of losing their job or
always
being called a
done that.
racist or
They
whatever it may
always
be,
done that.
or be attacked
They've
for that
always
matter.
done that. We've been attacked every day. What the fuck are you talking about?
You've been attacked every day?
No, I'm just saying it just in the history.
I would argue you as a black man has more advantages than white people.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, not advantages, but like no.
No. Like for example,
You know why? Because they don't have skill set. They can't fucking.
If I take your skill set and I take a white person's skill set and you guys have identical skill sets, right?
It's about
Identical
the
GPAs,
surroundings.
whatever.
It's about the
you're more than
environment.
likely going to get hired.
Yeah, because I've been doing this shit naturally. They have an environment. They have.
What happened to
people around them that
meritocracy from
helps them
before?
do the shit
What happened to
they're supposed to do.
equality?
What happened to equality?
What happened to equality? What happened to meritocracy before?
So
See, this is the problem. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, the whole, like, you're over here researching shit. You can't even, like, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to pull up close for people to just to get the book and try to just really just.
Bro, nobody, that no one thinks to themselves, oh, let me look up this, like, obscure book from, like, back in the
I just want
1970s about black
people to be
fatigue.
aware about what the
When we
fuck's
talk
going
about
on.
black fatigue, it's about, like, George Floyd. It's about the riots all across these blue cities where they're fucking lighting cities on fire because some dude who overdosed on fentanyl, right?
He didn't
died.
overdose on fentanyl. What the fuck you talking about?
So hold on.
Go ahead.
So you think you don't? So you think George Floyd was like a martyr?
No, he was he was just a citizen that was just trying to get something to eat or whatever the fuck and died for no reason. He wasn't no hero, and that's the problem. You guys are trying to paint him as a hero to try to demonize.
Demonize?
Yeah, demonize. That's my fault.
Okay, let me go through the fact pattern with you because you
ahead.
clearly don't know who George Floyd was. George Floyd was a multi-time convicted felon criminal. When he was apprehended on that day.
That's
No,
White's
let's
hero.
go
That's
through the
not our
facts.
hero. That's just a regular citizen.
No, let's go through the facts because you guys never like to talk about the facts. This is what transpired on that day. On that day, he went into a convenience store, passed a fake note. That's a federal crime investigated by the Secret Service.
So
then on top of that,
gives him reason to
and
to
then
get
they call the
killed for
police
no
on
reason?
him. Okay, let me finish what I'm saying. After that, they call the police on him. He goes ahead and conducts a drug transaction, another felony with his drug dealer right there. Police come, pull him out. As he's about to get pulled out, what does he do? He swallows some fentanyl because he doesn't want to get arrested again for drug possession. As he's there, and Chauvin has his knee on his back, not on his neck,
he has his
on his knee on his back.
He has
a
his knee on
technique
his
that was
neck.
taught by the Minneapolis Police Department, by the way.
Everybody's seen that shit.
Okay, again, it was on his back. It was a technique taught by the Minneapolis Police Department, okay? He was taught that technique, okay? That was brought up by his defense. Also, he did not get a fair trial. Anyone that has half a brain that watched that trial knows that it was not a fair trial. How do I know this? Because they had a BLM activist on the jury. That's absolutely ridiculous.
What's the problem with that? What the? No, I'm trying to explain. Like, I'm trying to get your information.
Do you understand the process of like
I'm not
voir
trying to-
dire and having an impartial jury? Do you understand how a BLM protester would not be an impartial juror?
No.
Okay, bro, we can't even have a conversation, bro.
Oh my gosh.
But if you don't understand that, then there's nothing to talk about, and that explains everything else here.
For people to kind of know and try to know who you are. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, I think they're agreeing with me on this point. You can't see what's going on
But
behind
like-
you, but the fatigue is high because you don't even understand the fact that having a juror on a jury for a case that has national recognition that's extremely racially charged is a problem and is going to violate his rights of getting a fair trial.
But like, all right, so
He should get honestly, I'm gonna say it. He should get a fucking pardon. He did not get. And the other thing too, he had what, double or triple the lethal dose of fentanyl in his bloodstream. No. The reason why he was prosecuted so hard is because he was a black man and it was a white police officer. In America, we have a thing now where, with like Chud the Builder, for example, white person gets involved with a black person. We don't want to deal with cities going on fire and what went down with Minneapolis before and the BLM protest. We're just going to make the arrest.
He's going to jail regardless. So I mean,
oh really?
With my opinion though, I mean, with the system that's in play, I mean, I think he should be released to get the hands at the people. I mean, at the end of the day, you know.
Okay, what makes him guilty in your eyes? Take me.
He got a family.
Okay, take me. What makes him guilty?
What makes him guilty?
Yeah.
It's shit. It's all shit. It's all his like. Damn, we're getting confused. I'm getting fucking sidetracked. But like, bottom line is that he's gonna go to jail for what, 30 to 60 years. So
okay, on what facts?
On what facts?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I said this on my talks as well.
Okay, why'd he shoot him? Like what? Tell me what happened on that day.
Well, first of all, to slow myself down. He shot a disabled citizen. And you felt the fact that you're even like putting out the facts and trying to justify that he's supposed to be out of jail and stuff like that. He shot a disabled citizen, and not only that, he was a veteran.
Okay, why'd he shoot him?
Why'd
he shoot him?
Why'd he shoot him? The fucking.
Oh, you don't even know?
No, I do know. I mean.
Okay, tell me.
I mean, that's the problem. He shot him for no reason. He tried to gain clout and shit like that.
Okay, he shot him for no reason and to get clout.
That's basically what his content portrays. So he's not put.
Yeah, this is why the average black IQ is 85. Congratulations. Anyway, see, like, bro, thank you for proving all the stereotypes correctly, bro. And I'm one of the only people that has the balls to say this shit when it comes to niggas, bro. Y'all niggas are stupid. Let's go to the next person. Bro's over here trying to debate and argue, furiously looking through AI and still getting his ass whooped. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Intellectually. And yo, like, again, all the smart black people know that I'm correct, right? We don't want guys like that representing us. But unfortunately, this is the problem, right? Like, this is the stereotypes. People adhere to the stereotypes. I'm trying to fight it off, right? I'm trying to not make us look like fucking idiots. But this is what the general public thinks about us. A bunch of victimhood, a bunch of stupidity. We can't be held accountable for anything. Oh my God, black, white people are oppressing us and everything else like that. I would argue as a minority, in America, you have more advantages than the white person, bro. Like you take a white person compared to a minority, like a white male especially, more than likely they're going to hire the minority or the female. It is what it is. But go ahead, man. What's up?
Yeah, I want to talk politics, but I had a couple of quick questions first, so hopefully I can get through those and then we'll get to the discussion. Really quick, have you read that copy of Mein Kampf that you bring around with you, or is that just like performative?
I've read through it.
You've read through it? Okay, no.
Yeah,
Wait,
I've read through
you've read through it or you've read it? There's a difference.
I've read through it. I focus on a certain the chapter on the Jewish supremacy and the Jewish question.
So you haven't read anything about Lebensraum? Have you read anything about the Aryan race? What about that?
Oh no, I'm familiar with that as well. Those arguments,
real
but
quick,
that's not really what I'm.
Real quick. What chapter is the chapter where he talks about the Aryan race?
This fucking guy, bro. This guy. You do realize that there's different types of.
But there's only one
there's
where he
different
mentions
versions.
the Aryan race.
There's
It's in
different
volume
versions
2.
of
I'll give you
Mein
that.
Kampf.
It's
There's
in volume
different
2. There's a
versions of
hint.
Mein
Which
Kampf.
chapter is
What
it?
I focus. See, and I love it too because you bring up your phone and you're like using AI to ask these stupid ass fucking
It's
questions.
not AI, you dumb motherfucker.
Yeah,
You can
that's what
look
you
up
are,
the
or you're
book. The
preparing-
chapters are here.
Well, I don't need to look it
I
up.
was here
like
for
you
like
are.
an hour.
Yeah, I don't have to look it up like you do. The point I'm trying to make here is I
You should
focus
look it
on
up so that way you know
I
more
focus
about
on
it
his
instead of
arguments
pretending like
because
you
here's the
read
other thing
it.
too. Because Hitler draws very much from Henry Ford and world Jewry and
You can
the
pretend to do all
international
this.
Jew.
Oh, he draws from Henry Ford. Bro, you
Do you
haven't
watch
read
my
the book.
show? Do you
You're
watch
being
my
performative
fucking
as
show,
shit.
buddy? Do you watch my show? Because I've talked about this.
I've watched.
Then shut the fuck up. You
occasional
clearly don't
times
know
where
what you're
you
talking
talk
about.
with, like,
You're
drunk
coming in here.
OnlyFans
You're
girls
coming
at
in
2
here.
a.m.
Oh, this guy's a
and
copy
you
of my
pretended.
Let me ask him about this random thing
how
about Aryans.
it's-
I
look,
told you
I'm sorry,
specifically.
it is
I told
super
you
gay.
specifically. I
It
told you
is super
specifically.
gay to
I
carry
told you
around Mein Kampf
specifically.
with you to performatively pretend to be a
I
Nazi.
specifically told you what I focused on when I read it, and then I told you where that comes from because I read The International Jew from Henry Ford, and that's where Hitler drew his stuff. So that's why I looked at that specifically, and I'm explaining it to you, and then your dumbass wants to sit here and ignore that. All that context matters.
The reality.
So what's your
is-
actual
the
discussion that you want to have? Because I could
reality
tell you're like one of these faggot
is-
liberals that's going to like
the
go
reality
into like
is-
random shit.
the
Let me go ahead and
reality
attack him
is
on
that it's
this.
fucking
And try.
embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing that you're carrying around a
Go
book
ahead.
performatively the same way a 10-year-old carries around a skateboard he can't use.
Oh, you
to
mean
look
this book
cool.
that offends you? Okay, sure.
I
Now,
don't-
what's your?
no, that's the
now-
thing. I don't give a fuck.
No, you are offended by it because you brought it up.
I brought it up because I think it's funny that
You're
you're
pissed off
pretending
about it.
that
So
you're
let me hold it up.
pretending
And
to be a
let's talk
Nazi.
about the why women deserve less too. We can bring that one up
Bro,
too.
you can do all the. This doesn't bother me. I really don't give a shit. It's just funny that you're gonna carry around Mein Kampf
Yep.
performatively.
Yep.
That's kind of embarrassing, right? To pretend to be a Nazi to be cool is kind of like embarrassing a little bit.
Yeah, embarrassing to you because you're a progressive faggot. So yeah, like you like that's why. It's like, and this is the thing. Like I'm not.
Bro,
gonna
you can call me a
apologize,
faggot all you
'cause
want.
here's
You're
thing.
the one who says you
'Cause
need to
here's the
spend
thing
more
with you
time with
guys.
men than your
Here's
women.
the thing. Here's the
Not
thing.
only that,
Here's the thing
your
with you
woman,
guys.
your woman cheated on you with a
She
roller
never did.
skater,
That's a lie.
bro. She cheated
That's
on
a-
you with
that's
a
a lie.
roller skater.
Of
So
course.
what kind of masculine
This guy doesn't
upgrade
realize
was it
we were broken
that
up
she
for
had
months
to go
before
cheat
that.
on you with a rollerblader?
We
that
were
you weren't
broken
providing
up
the
for
male
months
role
before
that she
that.
needed.
Okay, so I don't know what you're talking about. And then on top of that, you're coming in here say like again. You don't watch the show. You don't know what my content is. You come in. This guy's a copy of Mein Kampf. Let me ask him about that, and then I explain to you exactly why I have it and this part of the book that I focused on reading. And then I talked about Henry Ford and I talked about all that. You disqualify all that shit. Oh, let me just ask you about this shit. What do you
Because
actually
it's
want
the
to
same-
debate? What do you want to actually debate?
Look,
Because
I'll
the
go
problem with
real
you
quick.
progressives
It's the
is
same
you
as
guys
like, it's the same
get
as gay
offended.
liberals who have a shelf full of books that they've never read to seem smart.
Like you.
It's-
Okay, now what's your argument?
That's why I cut my bookshelf down, because once I actually got to college, I was like, hey, you know what's gay? Having a bunch of books I haven't
So
read.
what's your
people think I'm
actual what's
smarter
your
than I
actual
am.
argument? What's your
So my
actual
actual argument that I came here to talk about
Yeah.
was, are
ad
you
hoc.
finally ready to admit that Kamala Harris easily would have been a better president than Donald Trump? Thank you.
Yeah, now everything makes sense.
Yeah, I
right?
love hearing that
It's
fat
like-
alcoholic idiot yelling over
it's
here.
Kind, it's
beta.
kind of funny. It's like he comes in, he says the dumb shit that he said, and then he
Well, if you haven't
makes a
drinking,
comment
it's
like that, and
embarrassing how
everything
red you
goes
are,
for
you
a
fat
circle.
idiot.
Like, oh yeah, this guy's a faggot.
At least I can't
So-
fuck myself, you fat fucking loser. You can't even touch your own dick.
Anyway, so
you did. You think it's a flex to talk about how you masturbated last
so
night,
question
buddy?
for you. You do realize that Kamala Harris wrote about me in her book that I was a big part of the reason why she didn't win the election, right?
I really don't give a fuck. Kamala Harris. The argument.
really
is that
didn't do
Kamala
your
Harris-
research.
Wait.
You really didn't do
It's
your
okay,
research.
It's okay. You can calm down. The argument is that Kamala Harris would have been a better president than Donald Trump. You speak English, right? So you understand that's the argument. Not whether you were instrumental in her loss. I don't give a shit about that. I'm saying Kamala would have been better because Donald Trump is dog shit right now, right?
Sure. So your argument is you think that she would have been better?
Yeah, my argument is basically that Donald Trump is like the floor for what a president can possibly be, and anything would be better from that point.
Okay. Well, I don't want a female president, so no, thank you. That's number one.
Is that
We
your,
don't-
your
we
top
gotta-
thing? Is
we
that
gotta
a
we gotta keep
female?
women. Gotta keep
How
women in
much
the
respect
kitchen.
does Donald Trump have right now that Netanyahu is dragging him around by like a child
Yeah.
into
Like
wars?
here's the thing.
Is that
I'm not
like
like-
the type of respect that you want from like
See,
our leaders?
here's the thing. I'm not a MAGA retard. If Trump does dumb shit, I will call it out. I don't like the war with Iran. I don't like the foreign policy. I think he's owned by the Jews. That pisses me off, and I don't like that. Hence why I'm very familiar with the JQ and Henry Ford and all those other shit which you've been trying to call out before. So I don't like that. Now, with that said, There's no fucking way I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. She actually talked about in her book how me and Andrew Tate kept her from winning because she lost the young men a long time ago, as did the Democratic Party. Because let's be honest, the Democratic Party and the left in general is filled with soy boy faggots like you that are super politically correct, that will sit there and be like, you got a copy of Mein Kampf. Let me go ahead and shame you for like reading about somebody. Meanwhile, idiots like you walk around with a copy of like fucking the Red Book from Mao, who killed just the same amount of people, if not more. Because a lot of you guys
communism. I don't support communism. I don't know
Okay.
why you're doing this weird gay fucking turn to like, oh, communism.
Well, no, because you're advocating. You're advocating for Kamala Harris,
I
who is
called
like a
you out for
Democrat
Mein
socialist.
Kampf
She's Democrat
is the
socialist,
same
so.
reason that you call out liberals who are performative feminists. Because it's fucking gay when you're like doing this feminist shit and you're not actually
because
about it.
you came
and
in-
you're the
you
same
came
thing.
in- you came
You're the
in on
same
that
thing where
premise.
you're like a fake Nazi. Where
'Cause
you're
you said,
like,
let's talk
oh
about
guys,
politics.
please like me. I read Mein Kampf. Look at me. You haven't done it though. You haven't read Mein Kampf. So that's fine. Just say you haven't read it.
No. I've read what's pertinent based on what I care about. And
So
I
you
told
haven't-
I explained that to
okay,
you. And,
you've-
and I love
You
that you
did the
brought
spark notes of Mein Kampf. Can we agree on that?
And
You did the
again,
Spark Notes
I
of
told
it.
you this. I read that because I read The International Jew from Henry Ford, and that's when I said, let me see what Hitler has to say about this.
That's
so
fine,
I read
but
that
you don't have the
specifically.
International
So
Jew
that
up there on
context-
stage with you.
So that
You
context
should
is
probably, if
extremely
you
important.
read the International
what?
Jew,
I'll bring
have
it.
that on stage
Well,
with
it was
you.
a bunch of
Not
pamphlets,
Mein
retard.
Kampf.
It
So
was a
where you're
bunch of-
like
it's not really a book.
doing
It was a bunch of
Nazi
pamphlets
stolen
that was-
valor.
See, if you were smart, you would know. It's not really a book. It was like a bunch of pamphlets that were produced right out of Dearborn, Michigan. So it's not really a book. But you know what? Just for you, I will go
I'm
ahead and
glad
bring the
that
International
pamphlets are
Jew
the extent
next
of
time
what
because
you
you're that
can
much
read.
of a fucking
I'm glad
retard.
that the pamphlets are the
Because you're here
extent
to
of
just
what
do
you
ad
can
homs,
read,
so we
you
can play
fucking
this game too, faggot. So what's your actual
You
thing?
can call me a faggot all
We
you
need to
want,
go
you
because you
fucking
guys love to
retard.
call people Nazis or whatever, or like you're a right winger, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just call you a Nazi, whatever. You know what? We're gonna go back.
I
to calling
didn't call
libs
you a Nazi.
Stupid faggots.
That's the part.
'Cause That's what
the
you guys
part
are.
that's funny is that you're not a
Stupid
Nazi.
fags.
You're such
Now,
a fucking
back to what I
lonely
was-
loser
back to what I was
that you
gonna
have
say.
to pretend to be a Nazi.
Kamala Harris.
That's fucking gay.
Kamala Harris is
There's
better off
nothing
in a
more faggot
kitchen
shit
than in the
that.
White House. Okay,
You're
she's better
actually
off
sucking Nazi
in a
dick.
kitchen than the White House. We will never have a female president. I will never fucking elect a female president. Women don't lead anything except to the end of a relationship or else to doom. So no, thank you. And we can go ahead and have our criticisms of Donald Trump. Sure, no problem. But there's no fucking way we're gonna put Kamala Harris into office. And I'm happy that she wrote about me in my book, in her book, that we kept her out. Me and Andrew
You can
Tate.
keep
So
jerking
try
off
harder.
about Andrew Tate and yourself and like a book that you wrote about, or a book she wrote. I don't give a fuck.
She wrote it.
The point is this: we're losing massively in our trade war against China, right? Not only is like Donald Trump being led around like a little fucking child by Israel, but also by China. He has to go bow to Xi Jinping in his own fucking place and get nothing for it, right? We got nothing from that China trip.
Well, he had a plan and it failed and it backfired. I
Okay,
talked
well,
about this
that's-
in detail.
Just making sure we got nothing from that. So you agree with that? He failed on his plan.
Yes.
Not only that, he got
Yep.
outplayed in the soybean deal, right? When he sent $20 billion to Argentina instead of our farmers, right? He sent that to Argentina, and then China bought nothing from us. He got outplayed there too, right?
Okay, buddy. Do you not realize that I've been talking about? You need to watch my show before you come in here
real
and talk.
quick,
I've
just
talked
answer
about all
that.
this
Did
shit.
he get outplayed on that soybean deal?
I have talked about Trump losing the trade war and being an idiot
I
about
don't
this.
give a fuck about these tepid.
How about this?
Like,
How about
"Oh,
this? How
he's
about this?
bad
How about this? Because you're
sometimes,
coming
he's bad
in,
sometimes."
you're making arguments that I literally make myself. You
Then
don't.
it should be easy. Just say
as
yes.
usual.
He got outplayed on that soybean deal, right?
No, because you're gonna literally go through and try to make
I'm
it
gonna
like.
go through the list of his failures. Yes, because he's a failure of a president. Yes. I'm sorry that that's hard for you, but the guy that you backed is a fucking failure. He's a loser. He's a retard, and he's fucking old and dying in office. He
Better than
sucks at
Kamala
his
Harris.
job.
Better than Kamala Harris.
It's not.
Better than Kamala
do you
Harris.
do you think we'd be at war with Iran if
be-
Kamala was in
we,
there?
we probably would be
We
still.
would not.
Yes.
Wait,
we
why,
would be.
why
Yes.
did Obama not
we
go?
would be.
Why
Yes.
did Obama not go in 2014 when Netanyahu wanted to go to war with Iran?
Again, that's because
Why
he
did
had.
Trump not go in his first term when Netanyahu wanted to go to war with Iran?
Again, we
Why
would
did
probably
Biden not
still
go?
be
Why did Biden
at
not
war
go?
because here's the thing you also got to understand. Kamala Harris is a big part of the reason why would the war. Yo, can you shut the fuck up when I'm talking, dude?
Bro,
like
it's
you're
super
fucking
easy.
insufferable. Like you're like one of these guys that just like filibusters. As I'm trying to explain to you, like again, you want to talk about anti-war, whatever. Oh yeah, there would have been a war. Well, you do understand that with Kamala Harris, she was in Ukraine. She was literally there weeks before Russia attacked, okay? So if we want to talk about wars and everything else like that, the Democrats are not free of not getting us involved in wars as well. And that obviously created a lot of issues for us as well in 2022. So she was there, literally didn't know what the fuck she was doing, and the Russians ended up invading. So it's not like Biden wasn't asleep at the wheel and got us involved in a war. And I honestly do think that the Israelis would have been able to bully her easily and get us dragged into another war in the Middle East. Easily.
That's fine that you honestly believe that. I believe that you believe that, but I believe that you believe that based off of zero proof. You just believe that because you feel it.
I just
And
told
that's
you
fine.
that
No,
she
you didn't.
fucked up with Russia.
You told me that she went into Ukraine and then Russia invaded later. That's not anything. There's no plan there. There's nothing. The only reason Ukraine is still resisting is because we agreed to arm them, which is what the Democrats did. Not the fucking loser Republicans who are too terrified to do anything with our allies, but have all the money in the world to give to Israel for whatever fucking wars they want to rage. Like somehow, what? Like, we were working with Ukraine, and that's a negative. We were stopping Russia. We were sanctioning them, and that's a negative.
I'm not for wars. I'm not for wars. And it's the Democrats that overwhelmingly.
It's not about being not for
wars. And it's the Democrats that overwhelmingly support Ukraine with the war. It's like so. Like
some
I guess
wars are righteous. That's just true. Ukraine was invaded. Ukraine doesn't have nukes because they agreed with America that we would protect their sovereignty, and we're not doing that. We didn't do it with Crimea, and we failed them then, and we're failing them even more now.
So you're pro-Ukraine war?
Absolutely. I'm pro defending Ukraine. Ukraine deserves to be defended. Ukraine's literally going under a genocide from Russia.
So you're making an argument. You're making an argument about the war in the Middle East, but you're supporting the war in Ukraine.
I didn't support the war in the Middle East. What are you talking about? I'm saying Trump supports.
No, because you're arguing like we would not be in war with the Middle East had it not been for Kamala.
We would not be at war with Iran if Kamala was president. That is just true. As hard as it is for you to accept that, that is true.
No, I'm saying we would be in war with Iran if it were.
No, I know you're saying that, but we didn't do it with Biden. We didn't do it with Obama, and we didn't do it. Trump won for some magical reason, but suddenly now,
I think that we would have. And again,
you think that we would have absent any historical data,
this is all
right?
hypotheticals because again, she was a big part of the reason
why
we ended up.
For you, it's historical fact for me. I'm referencing that Obama didn't do it because it was a bad idea, no matter how
much
Obama
in
office?
To do it. Was Obama in
yes,
office?
Yes, in 2014 when he was.
Was Obama in office during the Biden administration? No. Was he an advisor? Yes. But that didn't mean anything because we still went to war, okay, with Russia backing you fucking Ukraine, a completely stupid, pointless war that we should have never been involved in the first place. Now we got over 1 million people dead, easily, if not more, on both sides. The war is a fucking L. It's stupid. And quite frankly, Russia wants Ukraine way more than we do. I don't want any more foreign wars. You're over here saying, well, I think the wars in the Middle East kind of suck, but we need to support Ukraine. No, I don't want any wars. Why the fuck are we involved in any of these conflicts that don't benefit us strategically at all?
That's fine, but your president is the one who's setting up to fucking invade Cuba right now, right? Marco Rubio is setting up to invade Cuba.
And I don't support that.
That's fine.
I don't support that. You're trying to paint me as like some Trump,
bro. You don't get to walk away. They got your man.
He's better than Kamala Harris. I think he's still better than Kamala Harris.
Responsibility for it.
He's better than Kamala Harris.
He's
better than Kamala Harris.
He's not.
Yes, he is.
There's zero.
Kamala Harris is fucking
look at the market
retarded and incompetent.
Kamala Harris would be
she was the border czar. She was the border czar.
Blown up the USMCA.
She was the border czar, and we had open borders.
And then who blew up the Langford bill?
What?
Who blew up the Langford bill? Do you need me to explain what the Langford bill was, or do you know?
We had open borders when she was supposed to be the border czar.
So you do need me to explain the Langford bill.
She's completely fucking retarded, okay?
Why did an unelected politician...
We don't want illegal aliens coming into America.
Who the fuck is interrupting? Who now, motherfucker?
Crisis,
you shut up, retard?
Creating a crisis.
Give me 3 fucking seconds.
Get this guy off the mic. This guy's a fucking
faggot.
Fucking
upset
You're
little
fucking
baby.
retarded.
Bro,
you're fucking stupid.
I'm spanking your
You're
ass
not
right now.
spanking anything. You're embarrassing yourself. You're literally embarrassing yourself.
The reality is...
You support the Ukraine war. You support open borders. You support Kamala Harris.
I didn't support open borders.
That's what Kamala Harris was. She was
Kamala Harris wasn't open borders. She supported the Langford bill. Do you need me to explain it?
Go ahead, talk about the Langford bill.
Okay, the Langford bill was a bill that was meant to fund the border patrol, that was going to fund the asylum loopholes that were being taken advantage of, that was causing the problem with the migrants. That's a fix in legislation that is not just some fucking piece of shit executive order that can be overwritten in 4 years when like a minority of Democrats feel upset about it.
Okay, and then
that was going to be actual Republican-led by the Senator Langford legislation, and Donald Trump, an unelected politician, said, hey, Republicans, don't do this so I can run on the issue. He ran on the issue, and now we're not going to get any legislation on it.
Fantastic.
Isn't that fucked?
But under the Biden administration, we had open borders, people coming in, CBP giving people literally NTAs to come into the United States. I know this because I've spoken with Border Patrol agents. We had literally one of the worst border... Do you realize what I used to do for a living when I used to work for HSI? And I
well,
you
did for a living a decade ago, yes. You were Homeland Security.
No, up until 2020. So I'm very familiar with how the border works and everything else like that.
Bullshit.
So, yeah. See, this guy, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Bro,
okay?
I know more about this politics than you
don't know. You don't know what you're talking
about.
So it's fantastic. So anyway, back to what I was saying. No, because we're going to talk about what actually is transpiring. We don't give a fuck about the bills. I'm telling you what was actually going down on the border.
You don't care about legislation?
This is from me. again, legislation takes a while for it to actually take place. But what I will tell you is we had a bunch of illegal aliens coming through. Why? Because under Biden and Kamala Harris, as the borders are, we could talk about bills all day. Let's talk about what was actually going down. What was going down was illegal aliens were coming in. They're getting what's called notice to appears. A notice to appear allows them to come into the country and basically disappear into the wind. Okay? And what ends up happening when you get an NTA and is basically you could go with any city you're going to say, I promise to appear in court. They don't appear in court. They never do. Okay? And to put things in perspective for you, to get an NTA, when I was under the Trump administration, I had to have, when I was an agent, you had to get someone to basically be an informant and be a high value informant where you would give them a notice to appear. It was very difficult to get that. Under the Biden administration, they're giving them out like hotcakes, letting these illegal aliens come in under these NTAs. Now, again, this is not something that the American public can understand or know because immigration law is extremely complex and nuanced, and obviously Border Patrol was heavily restricted in what they can do. Before, when Trump was in, he was giving them expedited removals, which means you come in, you're going to get removed within 2 weeks. That wasn't happening under Biden. They were just letting them come in and do whatever they want and then getting NTAs on top of that. No one talks about this, though, because no one really understands immigration to this level. No one cares about a bill, bro. What's actually happening on the ground is what matters.
If you think this is such a fucking big deal, legislation doesn't take that long. The Langford bill was on the floor. Republicans were going to vote for it. We can go past it. But the reality is that we could have adjudicated the issue with asylum seekers that you were talking about, and instead it's still a fucking issue. And
the asylum system is broken.
Yeah, that's the point of fixing
it.
You dumb motherfucker.
The asylum system is broken, and it takes years. And it takes years to refine.
I don't get a scuff on my shoes and then throw them out.
The entire immigration system is broken. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. The border is just one part where we were bleeding. Bro, we're bleeding with F1 visas. People abusing that. We're people using B1, B2 visas to come in and overstay their visas. People coming in on all types, abusing CVIS. I'm trying to explain to you that the immigration problem is a huge problem, and a border is just a part of it. And Kamala Harris and the Biden administration did nothing to stop that. At least Trump came in and shut down the border to stop the bleeding. Then he started doing interior removals, which obviously everyone lost their mind. Oh my God, ICE is actually doing their job in doing enforcement in these blue cities and these sanctuary cities, which is what should have been done. That's how you actually deal with the immigration problem.
That's
but
not
again,
the argument. The argument was that like you could have made it difficult for people like me. Really, like if ICE came,
you don't understand the problem, so I can't even debate with you. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Get you a binky or
you don't understand immigration.
The reality
you don't understand the real problem. You don't understand the problem
agents,
on the floor. Kamala Harris and Biden literally led to one of the worst immigration crises in American history, bro.
That's fine. If ICE agents came in, you could have made it hard for people to make. If ICE agents came into jails and prisons and just started arresting illegal immigrants there, that would have been really hard for people like me to defend. But that's not what they did. They went into communities. They started hunting people down. The Supreme Court gave them the leeway they needed to racially profile people. It's not only that, federal agents shouldn't be masked up. Our fucking sheriffs aren't even masked up. None of your security guard over here is masked up, and they don't need to be. And neither do federal agents. Not only that, the fact that they can fucking kill 2 American citizens and they are hidden, right, from consequences by the president and all of his administration, that's disgusting. That shouldn't be what America is. That's insane.
Renee Good tried to hit a federal agent with her car. Alex Preddy was armed with a gun.
Alex Preddy, you can be armed, motherfucker. Welcome to the Second Amendment.
No,
Welcome
you cannot be armed and then assault people and assault a federal agent.
Him.
Oh, really? He didn't assault a federal
assault
agent?
him.
See, this is why, this is kind of crazy how you are so confident about your ignorance. Alex Preddy literally put his hands on a Border Patrol agent as he was doing a lawful operation, which is a violation of 18 U.S.C. 111 and beating a law enforcement officer. You cannot touch a federal agent while they're lawfully doing their job. You cannot run over a federal agent as they're lawfully doing their job.
He was filming him. He was totally within his rights. He was totally within his rights.
Dealing with
he
two
did not
females.
Put his hands on him until he was pushed.
Yes, he did.
He did not put his hands on him until he was pushed.
He did put his hands on him. He did put his hands on him. He was dealing with 2 females.
Even if they wanted to arrest him.
He did put his hands on him. He did put his hands on him.
Whatever, that's fine.
So then it's done. Then it's done.
That doesn't mean you can execute an American citizen. I'm sorry,
you cannot put your hands on it. You cannot put your hands on a federal agent.
I don't know what like third worldist warlord fucking politics you have, but you can't just fucking execute an American citizen for that shit. If they wanted to be rough with him, fuck, I would have hated it. You're right, okay? It would offend my liberal sensibilities.
See, now he's conceding that he did put hands on him.
It would have been legal. But the fact that they fucking shot him 12 times in the back, that's a little much, right?
It is legal.
It was a little much.
It is legal.
Can you even say
you know what? How about this?
Let's
go through this. Let's go through this because let me expose how dumb you are. Because once again, you think you're smart. Langford bill, blah, blah. And I'm telling you what's actually going down on the ground. Explain to me the fact pattern of what happened with Renee Good and then with Alex Preddy. Go ahead.
Okay. Just really quick. small detour. I just want to say how you're constantly relying on like common sense, and I'm saying actual shit. But fact pattern. Let's go to fact pattern. You're talking about common sense.
my bad for assuming that you would have common sense. I'm sorry.
It's fucking
and
retarded
telling
to
you
do
how
this,
things
like,
actually work.
this stupid like layman's appeal.
I'm
to,
telling
like,
you how things
common
work, and you're
sense.
like going
Everybody's
off of how
common
it should be.
sense.
So now you went ahead.
anyways.
No. Because here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I know you guys want next, and this guy's an idiot, but we have to absolutely demolish people like him
wrapped it up with
that
you
think
had
that they're
to, fucker.
intelligent when they're not. So you made a couple points. You said ICE agents were going into communities. Okay, yeah, these are sanctuary cities that have been violating immigration
Well,
laws
not only that,
for
the
decades.
farmers protected them, right? He's not supporting farmers.
I'm
right?
talking about sanctuary cities when they were going in because you're
Well,
talking
wait,
about protected
I'm just saying that
communities.
Donald Trump,
sanctuary
you're
cities
saying
are
immigration
illegal.
is something he
They're
cares about.
violating things.
He doesn't
That's
care enough
number
to
one.
deport,
Now,
the
as far as
major
like federal
sector of it
agents
in-
wearing
in
masks,
fucking,
the reason
farming.
why federal agents wear masks is because a lot of them are plainclothes, a lot of them do undercover work. Okay, so that is why. Also, they get threats a lot of times that they want to come and kill their families because they're doing their jobs because immigration
So what?
is an
Sheriffs
extremely
get threats all the time. They work in the gang unit. They're not fucking masked up.
Okay,
You shut
again,
the fuck up
it's
about
an
Mom, you
immigration.
dumb motherfucker.
It's an extremely politically charged topic, and they get death threats all the time. So yes, that's another reason a lot of them do UC work. Like I said before, gang unit guys, when they're doing raids, they wear masks a lot of the times. You wouldn't know this because you don't work.
They
in
wear
law
masks in
enforcement.
raids.
Now-
Yeah, no shit.
now
But they're
back
not
with
wearing
the-
masks when they're in the gang
so
unit.
which
I have
one
friends
is
who
it?
work on fucking Watts.
So now you're
I
saying
have friends who work on Watts. They're not wearing masks when they're out patrolling, motherfucker. When they're pulling over people and doing fucking fuck. When you're
Okay,
stopping someone
anyway.
for a moving violation.
Anyway,
or
back to
something,
what I was saying.
which is the most
So,
dangerous shit. That's where
so we
cops
talked
are
about
the
that.
most.
So when they're wearing masks, and then we talked about sanctuary cities being illegal and not allowing law enforcement to do their
Sanctuary cities
jobs.
aren't illegal. They're
They are
legally
completely illegal.
enshrined.
They do not work with ICE and or law enforcement.
They don't have to.
Federal law enforcement. They absolutely do.
They have
They
to
get
at a
federal
certain
funding.
point, but they
get
don't have
federal
to do
funding.
everything they
absolutely do.
want.
No, they absolutely do.
That's
If someone
not
puts a
true.
detainer on someone, if ICE puts a detainer on someone who is a criminal who they want to
okay,
go
well, he
ahead
tells
and
me to
go
get off.
pick
Shut the
up,
fuck up.
they can go
That's
ahead
fine.
and
Go
do that.
ask the rest
Okay,
of
they
the
can go
fucking
ahead
other
and
people.
get a detainer on them and go pick them up. A lot of times these guys are violent criminals.
Call me mom, you
Now,
motherfucker. Stop
let's
looking
go
at my
ahead.
dick.
Now let's
Go
go ahead and
fucking
talk
bite off
about
somewhere else.
Alex Pretty and Renee Good because you think that they were innocent citizens who were maliciously killed by ICE. We can go ahead. Which one do you want to talk about? Alex Pretty or do you want to talk about Renee Good?
Let's talk about Alex Preddy.
Sure,
So,
go ahead.
what's it
What
called?
happened?
First of all, everybody in the fucking back of the line is wholly on my dick. Can you tell them to hop
Guys,
off?
let him finish. We'll do Alex Pretty, then we'll end it here. Go ahead, because once again, expose yourself because you think Alex Pretty was in the right. But go ahead, tell us the fact
This
pattern.
will be the easiest part. Do you think Alex Peretti, for what happened, deserved to die?
Here's the reality.
Okay.
It's not about that. It's about he put himself in a precarious situation. He committed a crime. He was armed.
Here, it's a super easy yes or no, Myron. Did he deserve to die?
My opinion is irrelevant.
Well, how is it irrelevant to me asking
Because
you your opinion?
use
When
of
I'm
force-
asking your opinion,
use
it's
of
perfectly
force-
relevant.
because
What
use
is
of
your
force-
opinion? Do you think that Alex Peretti deserved to die for what happened on that video?
In the United States of America, use of force, especially deadly, is not based on 20/20 hindsight. It's based on what were the facts on the ground at the time that the trigger was pulled. So my opinion on this topic is irrelevant. I'm being impartial and very logically sound and
Look,
measured when I'm
I'm not
discussing
asking
this.
you your opinion so you can solve the case.
My
I'm
opinion
asking you your
doesn't matter.
opinion. I'm
My
just asking
opinion
you your
doesn't matter.
opinion. You're a guy who gives his opinion for millions of dollars, bro. Why can't you just give it now?
I don't want
Did he
people-
deserve to die?
I don't like when people die, but I understand why in that case.
Okay, so you're saying he didn't deserve to die for what happened, right?
I didn't say that.
So you think that because he touched the officer, he deserved to die? How he died, right? Like he got shot in the back, like more or less 12 times.
Okay, can you go through the fact pattern then and let's see? Because when you say it like that, it sounds bad, but we need to go through everything that was going on.
When you state what happened, it does sound bad. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well, this is why it's so important that we can't look at use of force from a 20/20 hindsight like you're trying to do right now.
It's not at all like that, and people do it all the time. This is how you analyze use of force.
Okay, let me
right?
ask you
It's always-
something,
you
buddy.
can never
Let me ask you something. Someone breaks into your house. Someone breaks into your house with a plastic gun. You shoot him, but then you find out it was a plastic gun after the fact. Is it a good shoot or not?
Yeah, of course it's a good shoot. You have.
But you just said 20/20 hindsight, right? Like,
yeah,
oh
but
no,
you can
that
easily speak.
he
to the
wasn't
person-
really a threat
you
for
can
you.
easily speak. You stop. I know you're floundering right now. It's okay. Let me answer.
No, I'm just showing your logic is
No,
fucking
it's okay.
retarded.
It's okay.
Doesn't make
I'll
sense.
guide you through this gently. Okay. Well, you can put on lube while I'm doing it. The point is, in that fact pattern, if I'm a person in my house at dark, nobody's supposed to be in my house other than the people that I know. Obviously, I would be. Hey, I'm sorry. You got another dick rider just totally yelling in my ear. Can you tell him to fuck off? That's fine, bro. When he kicks me off, you're welcome.
Yo, do
You're
the
just
Alex
making it
Pretty.
take longer.
Let's go through Alex Pretty, bro, because
It's only
you're
gonna take
eating up a
longer
lot
if
of
these
time.
fucking people are
Do
complaining
Alex
in my
Pretty
ear,
because
sorry.
you made the claim that you think it's wrong or unjustified.
So
Go ahead.
the point being, Alex Peretti was filming there, right? He was being kind of annoying. He was shouting at ICE. He's being a Karen, whatever you want to call it, you know. Bro, can you get the fuck out of my ear and shut the fuck up? The sooner I get through this Alex Peretti thing, the sooner it's done, bro. Why are you acting like you're with this fucking event, motherfucker? You walked here.
Guys,
okay?
guys. Let's let him finish it. Let's let him finish.
Thank you. I appreciate
Let's
that.
let him finish.
I appreciate that. So the fact pattern was Alex Peretti, much like Renee Good, was a liberal, maybe being annoying, had a coffee, walking around. The dude he had a concealed carry permit, correct? We both agree on that? That was valid?
Yeah, he was armed. Yeah.
And he was valid to be armed up until the point of touching that officer is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's armed legally. He's walking around at a protest legally. He's being annoying maybe, but not doing anything illegal per se. He walks off of the curb where ICE agent is. You can interrupt me here. I'm doing this from memory, so I could be wrong. But he's arguing with a woman or a pair of women who are like yelling at him or something. This guy steps in. Alex Peretti is like getting kind of in his face. The ICE officer pushes him. I believe they start yelling, he's got a gun. They get on him, and then they start shooting him, and he gets shot in the back like more or less 12 times.
See, you shouldn't make assertions when you don't know the fact pattern because
Well,
use
it's not
of
that I don't
force
know
is
the fact
extremely
pattern, it's that
important.
I don't have the video right here in front of me.
Well, that's the thing. The problem here is that like you're talking out of your ass like many progressives do, saying that I'm right about this when you don't know the fact pattern.
Well, that's not true at all.
It's very
I know
simple.
I'm right about this. We just don't have the video in front of both of us so we can argue over
Oh no,
it.
I've analyzed the video significantly, which
So
is why
have
I'm
I.
telling you.
Yeah,
You're
so have I.
then take me through it.
I just did, right? Now it's your turn to tell me where I'm wrong.
You said you didn't remember certain parts.
I said I might not accurately remember certain parts. I think
So
that's
let me
fair
go
to say
accurately
that
for you since you don't
I think
know.
it's fair to say the human brain is not entirely infallible, right? Is that okay?
Making excuses for why he doesn't realize after
Motherfucker, your
making
brain's not perfect.
affirmation
Get the fuck
before.
out of here.
So yeah, let's go ahead and go through this. Basically, there was an ICE enforcement operation going on at the time. The Border Patrol agents, aka ICE, etc., that were there doing the operation, people were getting in the way of them doing said operation. They pushed the people away. The woman gets into an altercation with one of the agents. The agent pushes her. She falls. Alex Peretti inserts himself and puts his hand on one of the ICE agents. As soon as he did that, he committed a felony, okay, impeding a federal law enforcement from their duties. Once you do that, bro, you couldn't even debate earlier. Shut up.
I mean, he's got it right, bro.
85 fucking IQ.
None of this justifies being shot in the back 12
Anyway,
times.
no, hold on. So once you put your hands on a federal agent, you've committed a crime. And actually, when you commit a crime, you have no right to self-defense. So they go ahead, they take him
That's
down.
not true at all.
Yes, you cannot.
No,
commit
there were officers that shot
self-defense.
back against the people who broke into...
Self-defense. You cannot claim self-defense when you're committing a felony. By that logic, bank robbers can go ahead and claim self-defense when police show up and shooting them. You cannot commit a felony and claim self-defense, bro. Okay, you can't do that. So anyway, the law enforcement was lawfully there. He touches him. That's a felony. They grab him. They throw him to the floor. As they're throwing him to the floor, he is struggling with them. Okay? It's also important to note, one of them said gun. Now, when they said that, he was doing this. He's a right-handed, and the guy that shot him from his left. He was going like this. So from a law enforcement perspective, if you think that he has a firearm and he's going like this, well, you might reasonably believe that he's reaching for his gun.
He was on
and
the
then
floor
on
when
top
that
of that,
happened,
right?
though,
You remember, buddy, you didn't remember the fact pattern, so please shut up
I
as
did
I'm
remember
talking
the
about
fact
this.
pattern because
Now
so
you
far we're
remember
both
it.
saying the same
Now
shit.
you remember it.
Bro,
Now
we're
you
saying the
remember
same
it.
shit.
You didn't go.
What did I say that was wrong?
You didn't make it this far.
I did.
You couldn't
I said
even make
the
it this
whole
fucking
thing. We
far.
said the same fucking thing. Tell me explicitly which part I said was wrong.
You didn't even make it to this part about him putting the hands on him illegally after he was doing an enforcement operation in the
After
middle of
this
an
ICE
enforcement
officer
operation.
illegally shoved a woman to the ground, yeah.
She was in the way of them doing
She
an
was not
operation.
in the way. She was
He
just barely
moving-
off the curb.
See, this is like, I just love this. Like, just like
no, if she was
completely
in front of a car,
deflecting,
if she was in front of a
obfuscating
car,
from what's
maybe.
going on.
She was off in the curb, right?
They're moving her from doing they're doing an operation. Okay.
How far off the curb was she?
That's irrelevant.
Was she like
they had
3 feet
They
or
had
like
the area
12
cordoned
feet?
off, and they were doing a lawful operation, immigration enforcement operation.
Bro,
they
she
can
was
tell her to
not
get the fuck
impeding
out of there.
an
They were
operation.
resisting. He pushes her, she falls. It's icy. Then Alex Peretti inserts himself, puts his hands on him, and that's when they go ahead. What the fuck? They grab him and they throw him down to the floor. As they throw him down to the floor, he's struggling. He's armed. One of the officers pulls the gun off him. When he pulls the gun off him, this is a gun that's notorious for going off, having accidental discharges. The gun goes off. The agents that were there dealing with him didn't know that the gun went off on an accidental charge, and they shot him. Now, you're probably saying, so wait, you're telling me that he shot this guy and killed... Can you stop interrupting for 2 seconds? Because you didn't even know the fact pattern, so I'm explaining this to you. So anyway, as he's sitting, as the gun goes off, the ICE agents that are dealing with him don't know that the gun went off as an accidental discharge, but they see him going like this, and they open up and fire and shoot him. Now, You're thinking, well, 2020 hindsight, it wasn't even him. He didn't shoot the gun. It was actually accidental discharge from one of the Border Patrol agents that took the gun off him. Well, what matters is the people that pulled the trigger and shot him, did they act in a... Yo, shut the fuck up when I'm talking, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. You've been outclassed here intellectually a billion times, and you're trying to interject. Okay? All right, get this guy the fuck out of here so I can explain it to the people here that actually have a brain. They see progressives that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So in America, right, guys, when it comes to self-defense, right, and use of force, well, law enforcement doesn't have a duty to retreat because obviously they're there in an official capacity. But when it comes to this situation, what ended up happening was the gun got pulled off of him, and the gun had an accidental discharge. The agents that were there didn't know that it was an accidental discharge pulled off by one of the agents from the gun. All they knew is that he was armed, and they heard gun, and they heard the gun go off. So they went ahead and shot him. Now, obviously, it sucks. Horrible situation. Awful. Sucks that he got shot and he died. But what's important is, did the agents act in a reasonable fashion given the facts and circumstances known to them at the time that they pulled the trigger? That's what fucking matters. So if you're, trying to take down an unruly protester, you hear a gun, you hear a gunshot, and you shoot them, a reasonable person could believe, holy crap, this guy is armed, I'm going to shoot. And that's why they didn't get prosecuted. Okay? So they were there operating legally, and they knew that he had a gun, a gunshot went off, and they shot him. So it's a clean shoot. Again, they don't have to be right. They just have to be reasonable. Very important. And progressives never understand this like the fucking retard that was here a second ago. And when it comes to Renee Good, by the way, Renee Good tried to fucking run that guy over. She actually did hit him, and he had some internal bleeding. So, again, progressives never take accountability for their stupidity. What's up, bro? Sorry for the long wait, guys, but you got to dismantle these idiots real time. I'm talking about some bill or whatever. I'm telling you guys what was really going on the border. And I brought Border Patrol agents on that actually worked under the Biden administration, and they basically couldn't do their jobs. They would bring the illegal aliens in, process them, and then let them go to the destination city. That's what was going on during the Biden administration when Kamala Harris was the border czar. Go ahead, bro.
What's up, bro? I just have two questions. First question, how can Trump exit this war without it looking like a total defeat politically and optically?
Smart fucking question, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for fucking. Oh, thank you, man. Holy shit, man. We're in a bad spot, bro. We're in a bad spot because the problem here is that any type of consent for all the progressives in the back that are like losing their minds, don't worry, you'll be able to come in and debate. What, we got some women, I guess. Ladies first. All right, after him, we'll go ahead and let the these kitchen bitchin' people come up next. And one of the point around, who's the one that's complaining and crying the most? Oh, the fat one. Of course, the fat one.
Oh, she left.
It's always the fat one.
Went running.
Hey,
she left
They
running.
never run that fast ever. That's why she's fat. You know what I'm saying? Yo, see, that's the thing. They always run. But no, to answer your question, bro, which is a fantastic question, by the way, it's going to be tough because Trump is in a really weird spot because he understands that he's creating an energy crisis, and he wants to be able to leave with some type of political safe face and doesn't want to look like he's lost the war. But the reality is that though we've won the war militarily, we've lost the war strategically because the Strait of Hormuz is still closed, energy prices are through the roof. We basically got into an optional war versus they're fighting a war of existential crisis. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be very tough. And then the red lines that we have where no uranium enrichment, that's not realistic, right? And then you got to reel in the Israelis because you're not going to have a long-term peace deal unless you figure out what you're going to do with the Israelis, because the Iranians have already said, we're not going to have any type of peace deal unless you stop the war in Lebanon, and the Israelis are not going to stop. So it's tough, man. I don't know how he's going to get out of this, without like looking bad.
Gotcha. Second question, last one.
No, you're good, man. Thank you.
It's
You're a relief.
Yeah. Who do you prefer, Vegeta or Frieza?
We already know Frieza, man. Fuck these monkeys. I like that shirt. Hey, I like that, man. The Majin Buu shirt. Shout out to you, bro. And yo, see I love my ninjas that are smart and they get it, right? Like they understand edgy humor, being racist when it's needed, right? We make fun of the dumb niggas, but we know that there's high IQ niggas that were like us, right? But the other people get all pissed off. What's up, bro? Welcome. Thank you for being patient. I know you were enduring that guy for a minute, but
nah, that was terrible. Nah, but first I want to give you props for being here. 2 years ago, I was hit in the back by IDF soldiers that took over this campus. So I'm all for free speech, even if we find ourselves in different barriers. Like you got the word illegals, and a lot of I'm a immigrant myself. And we like to use the word undocumented, but
Sure.
right now
We should probably transition to Chud, by the way, soon. Let's do the Chud builder next.
But we're having this problem right now with Cesar Chavez, who was a very conservative American, and we see in the last 6 months he's basically been canceled. A lot of streets that are named after him have been taken off. He was known for even using the word wetbacks. And I never seen that until now. So what's your opinion on that? I'm an immigrant myself. I have a lot of liberal views. I'm from New York, obviously. But what happened to Charlie Kirk, and I feel like people like you standing here and speaking against people that hate this country. You understand? Nobody loves America. Nobody loves America better than an immigrant. Now I don't like when a lot of first generation, a lot of anchor babies, you guys don't speak for us. Simple as that. A lot of times people don't put I like that you put boots to the ground. You don't just be online and be a grifter. You are here actually doing the work. What's your opinion on Cesar Chavez being canceled? A lot of the roles being taken out of him. Now apparently he has a rape case from 50 years ago. So what's your opinion on that?
I think condemning people for speech is always a problem. Hassan Piker, right, as many of you guys know, is getting investigated right now by the government. I'm one of the few I said progressives, LOL. I'm one of the few right-wingers that actually supports him, and I don't think people should be, politically attacked or criminally looked at for their political views, because I understand that that's a slippery slope where once we start attacking people for their political views, it's just a matter of time until they come after us. So despite the fact that, I don't get along with Hassan, he calls me Nazi all the time, he's a fucking faggot, I will defend the right of this fag to say what he wants to say and do what he wants to do. And that I extend that to both progressives and to people on the right. So people getting canceled for saying, offensive things like maybe wetback or whatever, I think that's a problem. And I think the reason why this country is so great is because of the First Amendment. There's a reason why, our forefathers traversed the Atlantic Ocean through much peril and scurvy and, all the issues with fighting Native Americans and all that for
about First that. Amendment. I want to take that back. I actually have this new thing that I do stand-up comedy, obviously, and I just think that I say, the real wetbacks are the Europeans. Because America's a continent. No. Hear me out. I'm Colombian, right?
Good.
I was technically born in America. I was born in America. South America, North America, whatever. Technically I'm an American. Now, the aspect of a European telling me how American I am when your grandfather or you understand, come from Spain, Europe, I don't like when colonizers get to tell us who's the empire, who's, you know what I'm saying? So, what's your opinion on that? Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. Going back to the this campus, I want to dedicate this moment to John Glazer, because what you said about having to protest with somebody that you don't stand on the same ground. John Glazer is a 69-year-old Jewish man that after October 9th, he was hit in the head on Ventura County, 69 years old, I believe he was, by a professor. The guy died and fell to the ground. That day I met his family, and his family was very gracious for me to be here and saying, hey, we don't have a lot of support from the black community, so we do love that you came here as an Afro-Latino. The family gave me a flag that day, saying, hey, I know you don't stand too much with Israel, but here's this flag as us, Fast forward, I come to this campus to just document. I get hit hit with in the bat, literally on this little sidewalk. These guys were ready to jump me, basically, If it wasn't for that little flag that John Glazer's family gave me, they would have basically stumbled me, So it's funny because a Jewish flag literally saved my life from being kicked in the head in this campus, It never happened in Occupy Wall Street, which that's where my political background comes from. It never happened. I'm a DACA baby. Obama gave me papers, and I stand here proudly as an immigrant, But again, being an immigrant is what put me in the barrier. I had a Puerto Rican teacher that always taught me, hey, you might do some things, but you get hit in the head. You get hit like a slap in the wrist. You don't get to be in a gang. You don't get to sell drugs. You understand? Don't do the same stereotype. If your parents go to jail, don't do the same stereotypes. Like I said, I don't speak for a lot of immigrants. I understand as Mexican Americans and as a lot of Central Americans, you guys have a lot of this motion of it's stolen land. You got to fight for the land. You understand? That's why you got to learn from the 13th Amendment, from the 14th Amendment, from black people. I also want to shout out to the black Americans. If it wasn't for y'all, many of y'all wouldn't be here. Even this man from Sudan. You understand? But also, one last question. What is your opinion on immigrants or the sons of immigrants taking over white supremacy? A sample. You have a man like you speaking for very conservative views. You got Marco Rubio's technically the top of the top, a Latino on the executive powers. You have Nick Fuentes leading the voice against liberal like the liberal ideas of that just kind of take over the country. What is your opinion on that? A lot of people of color in the other side. And what is white supremacy right now in 2026 if a lot of them don't are so diverse? What is your opinion on that?
Well, I'm glad, first of all, that you're still here, and like I said before, I don't condone political violence. I think that's one of the worst things, actually, is political violence. But when it comes to, so your question is like racial demographics of the United States? Is that your question?
Like how white supremacy is supposed to be white men and white women, but how can we look at white supremacy if now
I don't think white supremacy is a real thing in 2026, man. If we're going to be honest, I think it's kind of like it might have existed before in the past, but I think nowadays it's not really a thing. I would argue that a lot of white men a lot of times don't necessarily have the same supremacy or benefits they might have had maybe 100 years ago. I think it's a dated term that doesn't really apply to 2026. Being realistic here, if someone who is a minority and or a female applies for a job that a white male has or is applying for, more than likely he's not going to get that job because of affirmative action, more representation, DEI. So I just don't think white supremacy is keeping anyone back from success, especially in 2026.
I want to direct what you said. Yes, I am Colombian, but how can I name myself? You think I'm Christopher Colombian? You think if Columbus was here, he would let me be Colombian? Colombia, but naming a country after a colonizer is still retarded.
Yeah, so I just don't think that white supremacy is a viable excuse to keep anyone from success anymore. I don't think that is. I think this is we've gotten to a point now where, we've gotten pretty good when it comes to equality, and I'd say that we've almost overcorrected in some regards.
Gotcha. Hey, take care, man.
No problem, man. Thank you. I appreciate talking to sensible liberals. I have no problem talking to you guys. Thank you. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, Myron. Yeah,
Hey.
so I'm a white nationalist, white supremacist.
All right, cool.
I was here and I debated Destiny a few months ago.
Nice, okay.
And yeah, so I don't agree with you when you say that none of us exist. Obviously, I want to deport the non-whites. I want to get rid of the blacks.
Well, I didn't say you guys don't exist.
Okay, so
I said that it's not like a viable excuse anymore to claim systemic racism.
But we are real, right? You agree white nationalism and white supremacy is real?
Yeah, it exists, but it's not to keep anyone from success, is my argument.
Do you support white nationalism?
I support any groups of people to exercise nationalism. I've been very vocal about this. I think if people want to be black nationalists, people want to be Mexican nationalists, people want to be nationalists in general, and they love their group of people, that's fine. I've always thought it was weird how white nationalists can't be white nationalists without being called some pejorative term or lose job opportunities. Meanwhile, other groups of people can be nationalists with no consequence. So I think I think every group of people should be able to be proud of their skin and their heritage.
So that's going to be a civil war, right? If there's black nationalists, white nationalists, Latino nationalists, that's just going to be a civil war, correct?
Well, I think that there's ways to mitigate that and exist in harmony. I mean, Lincoln Rockwell had a great admiration for Malcolm X.
Nationalism literally means we don't want to live in harmony. We want to have our own nation.
Well, you can do that via segregation. You can do it via. There's other ways to go about it, but
so with the Civil Rights Act, we want to repeal the Civil Rights Act. You are against that, correct?
I just don't think that's a viable that's a realistic option in 2026.
So repealing the
I understand that you want to repeal it, but we have to be realistic as are you really going to be able to repeal that in 2026 and beyond?
I actually think we will. But
okay.
Do you think that's more or less likely than repealing the 19th Amendment?
Well, the 19th Amendment, I think that's if we want to talk about the 19th Amendment, that's actually created a lot of the issues that we have. But I think, we'd probably be able to repeal I think it'd be easier probably to repeal the 19th Amendment.
Okay,
versus,
but once we repeal the 19th Amendment, the entire reason that white nationalists want to do that is because then women won't vote and then we'll win on white nationalism, correct? Isn't that the entire goal?
I don't know about that, man. I mean, the reality is that, whites are, dropping off when it comes to the majority, and then
we want to stop that. We want to get rid of the non-whites.
Of course, I get that. But the other reality also is that many of the whites aren't going to vote for that. Right? Like this is a very small subset of people that believe that way. Which again, this is the beauty of the United States of America. We can have this discussion.
And so
the
you
First
know the
Amendment.
JQ arguments, right? And so one of the JQ
Yeah.
arguments, I watched your video with Louis Theroux, the behind the scenes. You mentioned a lot of JQ arguments, but the one that you didn't mention was the whole idea that immigration is Jewish. Do you believe that immigration is Jewish?
That was brought up, but he actually cut that out.
Okay.
We did a lot of discussion. He cut out, we did hours of discussion. He cut all that stuff out.
So you believe that the Jews are trying to replace white people in America? Is that correct or no?
I would argue there's some truth to that, yeah.
You think so? Okay.
I would, yeah. And it's kind of funny because they don't they don't practice that in their own state at all.
And so you don't think that we should stop that or we should continue it, or what's your opinion?
Well, I think immigration needs to be, at this point, extremely selective if we're going to continue
We're already a
to do it.
minority. If we don't do mass deportations, what's the point at this
Well,
point?
again, you're going to argue from that perspective because of your perspective, and
Am I right
understand.
or am I wrong?
Yeah, well, then you can make that argument, but I do think that there is some merit from bringing in people from other places
and then also with the
that
legal
have some skill set.
Okay. So do you support legal immigration? Do you not support it? What's your opinion on that?
So I think immigration works, but it's got to be. We have to fix it. We need an immigration moratorium for several years. We need to fix our visa system. We need to fix our border. We need to fix the sanctuary city problem. We need to fix our asylum issues. We have so many problems when it comes to immigration. It's literally a quagmire. It's a disaster.
So which people would you actually allow into America?
I would go off of more of a O visa type thing, where we would want people that are exceptional, that are really good at what they do, where we can't necessarily replace that skill set here. We don't have that skill set.
So a bunch of high IQ, like Chinese, is that what you, which nations?
Yeah, we would want to bring in the best and the brightest, and obviously be able to compete with some of our adversaries.
White people in America with Chinese people, is that correct?
Well, it's not necessarily about replacing.
Dilute.
So here's the problem. Let me be blunt about this, because I've had this criticism of white people and white men in general. You guys have to get your women in check.
I
you
know.
guys don't have your women in check.
I agree.
Let's talk about white people. You guys don't have your women in check at all. White women in general don't want to date white men.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, are totally cool with being whores. A lot of them put off and push feminist propaganda. They're fooled by the Jews. They tend to be very impressionable. You guys need to get your women in check, and that is why you guys have the birthing crisis that you guys have, is because white women don't necessarily subscribe to having children young, having big families. They'd rather pursue,
Yeah. So actually, the reason that I'm here is because when I was on Twitter, all the Wignat chicks told me to come here and to ask you to stop shitting on women. That was actually the original argument I was supposed to have.
No,
with you.
we need to continue shitting on them, because they're the reason why you guys are getting replaced, quite frankly.
Okay,
so you should be having this discussion with your white women, actually, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, look, so you're here shitting on white women, is that correct?
Yes, a lot of them subscribe to progressive ideologies that are the reason why you guys are
Myron,
quickly declining
Myron,
in
listen,
citizenship.
You're not white.
Sorry.
We don't need you talking to white women, trying to interact with them at all.
And that's the problem.
Right off
That's
the
the problem. I don't need to be white to give a. See, here's the thing. You're behaving like a black person now. You're chimping out. You're literally behaving like a white person. You are behaving like a black person. So here's the difference. See, here's the funny part.
Not your women, Myron.
When I criticize black people, they'll sit there and say stupid shit like you're saying. You're not black, so you can't criticize us. You're doing the same chimp out shit right now. Because I don't have to be. I don't. See, here's the thing. Hey, Baldy, Agent 47, relax.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Agent 47, relax.
No.
Here's the thing. I don't have to be white to be able to identify white problems as to why you guys have the problems that you guys have. Clearly, you don't have the platform or the ability to tell these women to get back in the fucking kitchen. So guess what? Now I got to do it for you, because you don't have the platform to do it. So the reality is that, look, man, you can do what you want to do. You can say what you want to say. You can be a white nationalist. Cool. I actually fight and defend for your ability to do so. But if we're going to have this discussion about white replacement, etc., well, who controls and who are the gatekeepers to sex? It is the woman. So stop complaining. Stop crying, because you sound like a fucking black right now. Let's be honest. You have a victim mindset. Stop being a pussy. Get out there. Tell your women. Stop being whores. Stop subscribing to feminism. Start creating families. Start going in the church. Start getting some white babies.
Can I respond?
Sure.
Okay, so look, to some degree, I actually do agree with you. But here's the thing. The problem here is that, we white people, we got to figure out what the roles are going to be for white men and white women. The problem is, I've talked to a lot of white folks, we don't want your Muslim, get the women back in the kitchen, put a garbage bag on their head. We don't want that. So when you're promoting that stuff, that's never going to work for us. Do you understand that?
Promoting Islam?
Yeah, you're Islamic. We don't want your Islamic values.
Actually, if you watch my podcast, I don't really talk about religion ever.
Your literally view of women is basically Islamic, correct? That you hate them?
No. Actually, I would argue that. Are you Christian?
No, I'm an atheist.
That explains everything. Yeah, this guy just hates everybody, including
and,
God.
And, you know, while I'm here, Myron, also just for the record,
God is black. I don't worship him. No,
Myron,
Jesus
Myron,
wasn't there.
Myron, one more thing I
So-
gotta tell you.
So yeah, like
1 second. Let me just say one more thing.
My thing is no, because you're coming in from a position where you don't know. I don't promote Islam. I'm actually very like I respect religion. I understand religion, but I kind of find it funny because Islam, Christianity, the Abrahamic religions in general kind of solve this problem. So maybe you might want to find God.
Yeah, I hate them all. No.
Okay, that's the problem. You might want to find God, and that would help you.
But no, listen. Your view of women is basically Islamic. You hate them. You want them to wear a garbage.
No, it's
bag,
based
you
on all
want
the
them to be
Abrahamic
in the
religions.
kitchen.
Devout Christians, devout Jews, and devout Muslims would agree with me that women need to be subservient to men.
fine. Go ahead.
That's how it's always worked.
Excuse me, who are you?
Oh, shit, we got the Karen. Let's go.
I literally have no idea who you are.
Okay, so I don't know what just happened. Female entitlement. She
Yeah.
just cut the line. Whatever. Do you have anything else you want to say? Age of 47 or no?
Who are you?
Age of 47.
Actually, yeah. One more thing. I'm 1/4 Ashkenazi. Just FYI.
That makes sense. Very Jewish. Very Jewish. That makes sense. A white nationalist that's a Jew. That's crazy, bro. Hey, guys, you guys better not let him in. He's trying to infiltrate and subvert, man. Everybody
what
knows
is
if a
your
Jew comes
name?
into a white nationalist group, you guys are cooked. FBI's looking.
What is your name? If you're literally going to stand here, if you're going to sit there and tell women that they need to get back to the kitchen, state your name.
You know, it's kind of funny. No,
Your name.
No, it's kind of funny. She's so we got a Karen. Cut
your
everybody
name.
in line.
He just called
right?
me a Karen, didn't he?
You are a Karen. You cut everybody in line. There's a line behind you. There's a line behind you.
They
obviously
he
showing the
literally
female
told me
privilege. I don't know why you're over here talking on a microphone when you should be in a kitchen somewhere. And she's like, state your name, as if like you are you that dumb where you can't like figure it out?
This is a load
like,
of shit.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, what am I? Hold on. Hey, woman, what am I wrong about specifically? Karen, what am I wrong about? Yeah, they never can actually say what I'm wrong about.
Sure. You can hear me, right?
What's up, man?
How's it going? How you doing?
What's up?
No, I mean, I came like 2 hours away, only in Crestline, but I just want to talk to you about right now. We're in a very pivotal time, with technology going on, You got the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Peter Thiels, you got all these dipshits and dumb fucks, right? But they are to where they are right now. So, what do you think the future of technology is going to go? And you have these countries, you have Israel, like there are people that are in, right? The Israel lobby that's funding these data centers and all that other whatnot. In northern Nevada,
Well, I think AI is going to take over. The technocrats are, obviously finding a way to get a significant amount of influence. And that's where we are, unfortunately. And I hope we can slow it down a little bit, but I think it's going to seep into all different realms of life, to include dating and relationships. I foresee that relationships are only going to get worse. I think AI and sex robots are going to be a thing. Men are struggling with women nowadays. Yeah. And that's kind of where we are.
It's like this post Kaczynski age that we're kind of like living in. I mean, it's very unsettling to see it now. Like you go to the store, you see these Waymos around. And, I mean, I'm not. It's very like I said, just very unsettling. For me,
Yeah.
that just I got the Marine Corps 4 years ago.
Thanks for your service, my friend.
Appreciate the support, brother. But while I was over there, because I had a few buddies that went to Jerusalem. They went to Israel, and they told me all sorts of crazy shit over there. Because a buddy who's from Pakistan, he goes and he said, "Oh, the fuck the Jews, fuck these guys." It was real comical and whatnot, but I just heard nothing but like negative experiences from like that particular group and how they're kind of like. It almost seems like it's slowly like seeping into like kind of every day.
I mean, look, I think. Because I want to be clear about this.
Yeah.
I don't want people walking around just hating Jews because they're Jews.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
a lot of allies in our fight actually on this was this guy. He's just being
I feel like
sarcastic
it's
or whatever.
yeah, like
no, this guy's over here is acting like a Jew. But one of the annoying ones, by the way. But I don't want people just walking around just hating Jews, because a lot of people that like are in this fight with us, right, that are bringing awareness. Some of the most prominent people are Jewish, right? Yeah. Like Glenn Greenwald, Dave Smith. Norman Finkelstein, these guys have been doing a fantastic job of like really like talking about this issue to, Max Blumenthal, to like great personal disdain. So I do think that it's important to, talk about this topic and, it's the information, not necessarily who's providing said information, attacking a group of people just because they might be a group. So
yeah, I absolutely agree. And for me, it's kind of like a self-awareness, because I don't know if you ever watch William Sexton. He goes by William, or
I think I might have.
I can't hear you.
I might have. Yeah, my mic. You got it. Thank you, Sean. I don't know. Maybe if you say something, and then by the way, we got a big line behind you. I got to move through people faster.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No, because I watch your content. I see you like as a talking head. The way that I watch like Vosh or Nick Fuentes or Destiny or all these things. So like I want to see what you see. So actually, like being a viewer, is really interesting.
With him,
huh?
I'm not familiar with him, unfortunately. But I'll look him up though.
Yeah.
The William guy you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, you ever get the chance, you just talk to the dude.
I'll take a look.
But no, I mean that's all I gotta say. Also, shout out Crispy Drums. He's a musician.
Okay, shout out to you, man.
Musician.
And thank you for your service, bro.
Hey, thanks for the support, brother.
Absolutely.
Keep up the good shit.
Yeah, a lot of people like when I say these things that I say about anti-war and everything else like that. Like it's to protect our guys, man. I don't want, our best and brightest, going over and dying in foreign lands. You know what I mean? That's why I fight so hard with, not fighting in Ukraine, not fighting in Iran. Like I just don't want U.S. intervention. I don't think wars make us better. We need to do what the Chinese are doing. The Chinese are investing, being pragmatic, building relationships. Meanwhile, we're blowing things up, and it just doesn't make sense in a multipolar world, right? It's not 1991 anymore. It's 2026, and other people have nuclear weapons, and we need to do it with influence, positive influence, not starting wars. Hi.
Hi, Myron. I come in peace.
Sure, no problem. I appreciate that.
Welcome to Los Angeles. I have been very familiar with your show for 3 years about now. And I have so many questions for you, but I'll keep it to one for now.
Sure.
You have said over the years that you love women, and I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and believe you. You talk about on your show frequently also a lot about what's wrong with women today, modern women, black women, whoever. But is there anything you can tell me about what you love about women? And I don't mean in the sense of what's convenient about them or why or what they can do for you or how they make your life easier. You can pay for a cook, a cleaner. I clean houses. You can pay for an assistant, an escort, a sugar baby, a prostitute. But what is it about a woman's essence that you love? What is it about women that drive men to go to war for them, that drive men to protect them, to love them, and to cherish them?
I appreciate this question because this is something that I'm not able to talk about much. And people want to typically hear me say women are stupid and bimbos, which it is true for a lot of them. But I've talked about this before, and I'll say this, and I appreciate the question. The reality is that, a big reason why I say repeal the 19th, stop the bitch and get in the kitchen, etc. A lot of that is being funny, but it's also, there's an air of truth to it because I don't think women should be in the workplace. I don't think women should be in, precarious situations. I don't think women should be experiencing trauma. I think a woman's innocence is her biggest weapon, and I think we need to protect that, right? And I think a man's job is to protect and provide for his woman and for his family and for his children. And obviously via feminism, we've masculinized women. We've told them to enter the workforce. We've told them to behave like men, and this has created a lot of issues because what ends up happening is as women age, they pursue education, they pursue degrees, they pursue higher paying jobs, they pursue a title, etc. What ends up happening is they forget what their most important trait is and their most important, objective being on earth, and that's to have a family, procreate. That's what human beings are put on earth to do. It's a man's job to create a legacy. It's a woman's job to create a family and a legacy alongside that family with the man. So when I say the things that I say, it's so that women can get the benefits of the protection and provisioning of a man that actually cares and loves her and the family, similar to that of her father. That's why I think fathers are so important too, and brothers, because that's probably going to be the only guy in your life that's not going to have some weird sexual interest in you and actually wants the best for you. And I think it's a father's job to hand that woman off or his daughter to the best man that he can. That's why the whole marriage thing is like, you walk down with your dad, she's in a white dress to symbolize purity. The guy's there waiting at the altar. Like, that's a beautiful thing. And I think we need to preserve that.
Thank you for answering that. One more small question. I won't take
Sure.
up any more of your time. Your family's from Sudan. Sorry. My family's from Tanzania.
Okay.
You also talk a lot about what's wrong with Black culture today as well. But is there anything, just from your personal experience, you have Black family members, so do I. Is there anything you love about Black culture or even African culture, considering where you're from?
I'll say African culture. Very hardworking, right? Especially people that like come here from those countries, like they realize immediately, like, holy crap, like, there's so much opportunity here. I need to make something happen. This is why, like, first generation immigrants tend to do so well, because they realize like the disparity of the opportunity of what they have here versus what they don't have there. And, and this is why, like, people get mad at me, Myron, you rail on the black so much, you rail on the black so much. Well, the reason why, like, you look at like a Nigerian that comes here versus like, a black that's born here, you've been here for 7 generations, bro. Like, why do you got $7 in your bank account? This Nigerian came here, didn't even speak the language, drove a cab, figured it out, and then got like, put himself through school and figured it out. So, a lot of Africans are very hardworking that come here. Obviously, there's some that are retards as well. There's always going to be retards and smart people from both. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks for the questions. No one's going to clip that stuff, though, because they're going to like, see, this guy is speaking positively about women. No, get that out of here. He's a Nazi. So, what's up?
Myron, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
A question for you. With how far feminism has come, how do you think we can revert back to before the 19th Amendment?
I'll be honest with you, bro.
Close to it.
Yeah, no, sure. I'll be very blunt. We're never going to go back. The problem here now, we make jokes, repeal the 19th, etc. The issue here now is that women have all the power and all the leverage. There's no way they're going to concede any of it. So the only thing that we can really do is deal with the new normal. And this is the advice I give to the guys, being very practical. You have to deal with the new normal, navigate the new normal, and find the women that are going to share your worldview of, a nuclear family, you being the leader. They reject feminism. They reject a lot of the, horrorism that comes with feminism, and they're willing to follow your lead. And I think that's really the best way for guys to navigate, because women have the power, they have the leverage. They're able to, what I call the feminism proverbial double dip, where they're able to get the benefits of digging and trying to find a provider while simultaneously having their own career and being, whores they want to be, but they don't want to be traditional when they want to be. So they're not going to concede on that. They're literally getting the best of both worlds. And I think that's a huge black pill that a lot of guys need to understand and accept. And you need to navigate the new normal, because I predict it's only going to get worse.
Me being from California, I see a lot of crime and homelessness. Would you recommend staying in California, maybe moving now? I see pay in other states is not as well as in California. What would you recommend?
I would say get the fuck out of here. Any guy that's like a conservative or a right winger, or you want, unless you're going to move to a part of California that's a bit more, amenable to your worldview, I would not live in California. There's a reason why I rarely come out here. I'm just not a fan. And I think it's not a great place to build a family, especially if you're going to send them to public school, whatever. You're going to have to homeschool them. You're going to have to deal with like progressive bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, and then socialism. I think democratic socialism is something that's on the way. For those of you that, follow politics, if you look at like a Zoran Mamdani, I predict that the Democrat Party, that is going to be the new move. It's going to be, we are critical of Israel. They're an apartheid genocidal state. They're going to campaign on that. They're going to campaign on socialism. They're going to campaign on, we're going to, take over apartment buildings that landlords are being, oppressive. That's where I see the Democrat Party going, right? The days of like the Chuck Schumers and the Bill Clintons of, 1990s Democrats, that's done. Now it's social Democrats. That's the new thing with people like Mamdani, people like Hassan Piker, people like Kyle Klinsky, these AOC, Bernie Sanders. This is going to be the new left. And they're going to be a very viable opposition in 2028. Make no mistake about it, especially with Trump doing the stupid shit that he's doing.
I just want to say I believe heavily in the red pill movement, and I known of you since you started talking about Fresh and Fit. I didn't get more into your content till you started talking about foreign policy and geopolitics. I feel like you spit facts when you talk about all that.
And just so you guys know, when we talk about the red pill, people say, oh, this red pill shit. Guys, it means nothing more than the truth. That's all it is. Don't let these fucking losers like Louis Theroux and these other fucking faggots, the red pill. Dude, it's nothing more than the truth, okay? When it's the red pill on foreign policy, it's the red pill on women, it's the red pill on how the world works, economics, etc., right? Rejecting materialism, embracing minimalism. That's all the red pill is the truth.
I see. I also have another question.
Okay.
How can I, from a normally in the Red Pill movement, help the movement keep progressing and going?
You know, it's really going to be on the guys. I think guys just need to wake up and realize that this is the new normal when it comes to women, when it comes to dating, when it comes to politics. You know, the only thing you can do as a guy is be the best version of yourself. Go to the gym, train. Don't be a fat piece of shit. Be as intelligent as you can be. Try to make as much money as you can. Be the most, eligible bachelor that you can be, and then find a girl and share that with her. Because I do think that men need to be providers. This whole 50-50 bullshit is fucking faggotry. It's stupid. It's retarded. And quite frankly, if you want to go 50-50 with a woman, well, be prepared to be disrespected and be prepared for her to undermine your authority and not respect you the same way. So I'm a big proponent because we always talk a lot about like women like being retarded, which they are, but we also don't talk enough about like male incompetence, which I do talk about that quite a bit, but it doesn't go as viral. Male incompetence is a real problem. A lot of guys are stupid, as we saw earlier with the fucking dude with the mustache, Mr. Kamala Harris. Lack critical thinking skills, and they believe in egalitarianism. Believing in egalitarianism is literally the beginning of the end if you're a masculine guy, because egalitarianism simply does not adhere to reality. Men and women are not equal. We will never be equal, and that's a beautiful thing, and we are better than them in most things, and since we are better than them in most things, we need to take that and understand that power comes with responsibility.
Last question. When it comes to Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, do you trust do you trust them with the news that they're giving out?
Yeah, I like all three of them. I like Nick, I like Tucker, I like Candace. I haven't worked with Tucker yet, but yeah, I like them.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
No worries, man. No problem. Who's up next? We got a feminist, or remember, guys, the topic is Chud the Builder did nothing wrong. Okay, that will be the topic. So Chud the Builder did nothing wrong. Welcome.
So I'm not going to talk about that. I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you think that it is true what you said when black people commit the most crime in this country?
Okay, they commit a disproportionate amount of crime, violent crime, in comparison to their representation in the United States. They commit roughly 50 to 56% of the violent crime in the United States, despite being only about, for male, 6 to 7% of the population.
Okay, and what citations do you have for that? Because I actually calculated the statistics behind this because I'm a mathematics major, a pure math major. And it shows that when it comes to certain types of crime, white people actually commit certain types more than black people per capita.
This comes from FBI crime statistics, UCR, census, etc. It comes from all that stuff. So I made a whole tweet about it, where I covered it in detail, but the numbers don't lie, bro. There's a ridiculous amount of black representation in violent crime in relation to their population size in America. This is an irrefutable fact. You can do math and change numbers around and carry one here and do that, but that is the unfortunate reality.
So I'm going to read it here. It says here that when it comes to sexual offenses, 55.1%.
We're not talking about sexual offenses.
No, listen to me.
I said violent crime.
Wait, listen to what I said. Okay, so listen to what I'm saying, though. I'm going to address your point. Black people do commit manslaughter and murder more than anyone else. But when it comes to every other category of crime, like, sexual assault, drug usage, white people commit the most in those categories, actually. And
okay, they're the majority of the country. Fantastic. Like, you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, okay, cool. They're the majority of the country, so we can make that argument. No one's saying that isn't true.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that there's a minority of people that commit a disproportionate amount of violent crime, okay, which I would argue is a public nuisance and a problem for people, okay? Like getting robbed, getting shot at, getting stabbed, that sucks. Actually, we don't want to deal with that, okay?
Actually, no.
Perverts suck too, of course, but you're sitting here saying, well, white people actually commit more. Well, yeah, there's more of them.
Let me just say this, right?
Yeah,
I'm bringing this up because violent crime is only one type of crime. There's like numerous other types. And what I'm telling you now is that the numbers just simply don't agree with you with that regard, to that regard.
Okay. Well, you know what? Take it up with the FBI. Take it up with the Uniform Crime Report because you're wrong. I don't know what to tell you.
And I can actually show you.
You can sit there and say you're a mathematician and a math major, and actually, I don't think that's right because I did figure this.
Let me show you my citations after you're done with this.
Sure.
And I'll show you why you're right. Well, I'm right and you're wrong.
Sure.
actually.
Okay, and this is fine. Like I've seen people do this before, where they do mental gymnastics to try to add numbers or do things in a certain way. Bill, actually, I accounted for this and I did this, dude. The numbers don't lie. Like it's very simple: homicide, manslaughter. Like it's just like, dude, robbery, all violent crimes. What's up, man?
Welcome to California, Myron.
What's up?
Welcome. I know that it's been rough. What is your stand on 50-50?
When it comes to relationships?
Yes.
Stupid. Now should be done.
Right.
Don't agree with it.
I would say for the young men here, I would highly recommend it to read the 2 copies of Why Women Deserve Less.
And Brett, do me a favor. Pull up the tweet, by the way, that I made on all the black crime statistics. It's on my page on X for me, please. Sorry.
I actually have the copies here.
Of what?
Why Women Deserve Less.
Okay, awesome. Yes. Both. Yes.
Remember
Why Women
the
Deserve Less,
OSS.
book 1. Why Women Deserve even less, book 2.
It has helped me a lot with a relationship in many years. It's really important to understand women. Really important. And I know a lot of people are not going to listen, but it's fine, because you're going to learn the hard way, you know? So.
Well, thank you for that, man.
Yes, I will give you like a lot of props for my relationship. It's like 85% of it, to be honest. Really quick question, Myron.
Yeah. And we'll make it quick because we do got a lot of people behind you.
Yes, I know.
Go ahead.
I know you're going to hate me for this question, but why is it that buy condos, houses, is a bad idea?
Okay, so the reason why I don't like condominiums a lot of times is because they come with HOAs.
Yes.
So that eats into your profit margin. So I tell people all the time, try to get a duplex, triplex, fourplex. Obviously, if you're able to find a good deal on a condo where you're making good cash flow and the HOA is kind of controlled, sure, do it. But I've just realized in most situations, buying condos as an investor just tends to not be a good deal.
Thank you, Mario.
No problem, my friend.
Shout out to
Good question.
Sigpack. Shout out to Ryan. Okay, and fuck Arnoldson Rich.
All right, thank you. And let's get some angry feminists on. And remember, guys, the topic is Chud the Builder did nothing wrong. So let's see if we can go there. If it's not that, then one question. Go ahead.
So, Chud the Builder and like people like Gypsy Crusader, they provide nothing.
Sure.
Like Gypsy Crusader goes on like Omegle and like yells at little kids and says the N-word to them. That provides nothing for anyone. People like Chud, like he's going around harassing people, and so when armed conflict comes towards him, when he like gets scared and he ends up shooting someone and goes to jail, he was still harassing those people. So that's why the police arrested him and detained him in the first place.
Okay. So with your argument about like, you says it does nothing for society. Well, that's entertainment. I would argue most entertainment doesn't really do anything besides give people entertainment, right? Like it just comes down to what type of entertainment do you subscribe to, right? Some people like watching Gypsy call people niggers. Some people like watching, Chud the Builder walk around and antagonize people. Some people like watching Kai Cenat. Some people like watching, Hulu. Everyone has different things that they're entertained by, right? It's entertainment, unfortunately. Now, when it comes to the whole Chud the Builder thing, let me be clear about this. I don't agree with walking around and antagonizing people and calling them slurs. I don't agree with that. But I'm able to, remove my personal disagreement with the content style to analyze the facts of the case. Whether it's Alex Preddy, Renee Good, etc., we have to look at things objectively, especially when it comes to use of force. So when it comes to the Chud the Builder thing, what do you think is like, because I'm talking about the actual shooting when I say did nothing wrong. So what is your argument there?
Well, you can't, I guess that lethal force in that sense, I don't think that's viable in like what happened, because the guy was coming at him and he shot him, right? But that, I think, like he didn't do it, he did something wrong there. He got arrested for that because he was harassing the person. So he shot the guy because the guy was coming at him. Like we agree on that. Like he was able to shoot the guy to defend himself, but that doesn't justify that he did antagonize in the sense of a crime, because he was harassing the person. That's what it is in the first place.
Okay, let's have fun with this. I'm going to do a thought process here with all of you guys. I'm going to give you guys all the facts of what transpired on that day, because I don't think you know all the facts, which I'll go ahead and I'll give you guys the facts. And I want you guys with a raise of hands if you agree or disagree, okay? I want to make this like a thought thing. So let's go through with what actually transpired on that day when Chud the Builder got in the shooting. So on that day, he was there for court, and so was a guy named Joshua Love, a.k.a. Joshua Fox, okay, government name. This guy, Joshua Fox, was there, I think, for a child custody case or, child support, and Chud was there for some like civil case, regardless. So they were both lawfully there. So Chud is walking around, and he's walking with a selfie stick, streaming on a website called Pump Fun, which this video is going to come out very soon. While he's streaming, some individuals point and laugh at him. So he's like, "Oh, let me go see what they're doing." He goes over, later identified as Joshua Love. "Hey, you like my suit, blah, blah, blah." The guy basically insinuates, "Hey, get the fuck out of here," right? Now, Josh Love, to be clear, knew who Chud the Builder was because he had made a post on Facebook back in January saying that if he sees him, he's going to fight him, okay, to boost his Twitch career. This came from his Facebook that he posted back in January. I digress. So Chud walks away with his selfie stick streaming. Joshua Love walks up to him, okay, and closes the distance. This is all shown on Pumped Out Fun. I've confirmed this with looking at the investigator who testified. They showed the surveillance footage, as well as people that saw the Pump Fun stream on that day. So as he's walking away, the guy walks up to him saying something along the lines of, "I have PTSD, I'm a veteran, you better not say that chimp out shit to me or call me a nigger, and there's going to be problems." As he says this, he's closing the distance with Chud. Chud takes a bladed stance, right? Something similar to this, and it reaches in his jacket pocket, okay? Presumably to potentially reach for his firearm. As Josh comes up to him, he says, "Or you're going to do what? You're going to chimp out?" Josh strikes him, punches him. Camera falls to the floor. We don't really see what happens there. But what ends up happening is they end up going to the ground. Now, as they're going to the ground, shots are fired. And this came directly from the investigator on the case saying this, that the shots were fired as they were going down to the ground. Now, I don't know what your proficiency is with firearms is, but anyone that, carries a firearm or law enforcement or whatever, they will tell you that going to the ground with a gun is a very bad place. You want to create distance when you have a firearm because they can take the gun from you. It's actually very easy for someone to take a gun from you and strip it from you. This is why they teach you, one of the number one things they teach was gun retention in a physical conflict with law enforcement. So now he's going to the ground with an individual armed. The other thing that people will tell you is never go to the ground in a street fight. It's very dangerous. Even trained MMA fighters and BJJ fighters who are experts at going to the ground will tell you, always stay on your feet in a street fight because you don't know who else is there. You can get kicked in the head, etc. Now, that's when the shots were fired. And then also, this fact came out during the testimony as well from his defense attorney, he was also in a headlock. Now, at first I was like, this doesn't make sense. But then I thought to myself, wait, he shot himself during the altercation. So that would make sense where you would accidentally shoot yourself, obviously in a panic or a fury. We don't know if he was reaching for his gun or whatever, but that would make sense as to why he might have shot him and also shot himself. Now, let's go through the facts again. You're walking. Someone closed the distance on you. You live in the state of Tennessee. You do not have a duty to retreat as a stand your ground state. Someone comes up to you saying, "I got PTSD. I'm a veteran." What does that imply? I used to serve in the military. Okay, I have PTSD. You can imply from that, man, this guy might have killed some people. He's crazy. Okay? And then he says, "You better not say that XYZ stuff to me, blah, blah, blah." Right? He punches you. Right? You're going to the ground. You're armed. You're also potentially in a headlock. It's a struggle. Would you fire a weapon at that point? Raise of hands. If you would fire a weapon at that point, you're in a headlock, you're going to the ground, you're armed. Some crazy guy claiming to be a veteran, right, is saying that he's going to hit you, and he does hit you, and he closed the distance and follows you after you're walking away, by the way. Would you shoot? I see quite a bit of hands here. Now, what's important for you guys to understand is it doesn't matter the 2020 hindsight. It doesn't matter whether Joshua Love was armed or not. What matters is what was going through Chud's mind at the time that he pulled the trigger. Well, we know that he was going to the ground. We know that this guy walked up to him. We know that this guy struck him first. We know this guy said that he had PTSD and is crazy. This will lead you to believe this motherfucker's nuts. He's hitting me and he's following me. He has a right to defend himself. You have no duty to retreat. So we can sit here and say we don't like Chud the Builder. He's racist. He's a neo-Nazi, whatever. None of that is relevant. The question here is, did he act reasonable? And would a reasonable person shoot the shots that were shot given that they were in the same situation? Now, I'm not going to make you answer because I'm not going to try to make you, lose your argument or whatever. But I'd argue that a lot of people would probably shoot their gun if met in a situation like that, and especially where if you're in a headlock, that's a very precarious situation, a vulnerable position. You can, get your neck broken. You can get choked out. Then you go unconscious. Then what?
I understand your point when you're talking about the firearm being discharged, the stressful situation, the character of, what was his name, Love or something?
Yeah, the guy that walked up to him.
I understand that. But on the preference of prove me wrong, as in did he do nothing wrong, or like he did nothing wrong, I would say he was still aggravating the other individual. The guy came up to him, said, "Oh, don't say I'm gonna chimp out," and he went, "Are you gonna chimp out?" That, in its sense, is aggravating the other person.
That does not justify the person to punch you in the face and take you to the ground and then follow you after you've walked away. If someone insulted you, right, and then punched you in the face, I would fight for your ability to punch that guy back in the face and defend yourself, up to and including deadly force if needed. And again, it comes down to reasonableness, and then did you have a reasonable fear that you were going to be the victim of serious bodily injury or death? It doesn't even have to be death. It could be serious bodily injury, which could be a broken bone, and you can justify use, deadly use of force. Now, the reason why he got arrested also is, let's be honest here, we live in a very polarized America when it comes to racial tensions. The DA's office doesn't want to have to deal with people burning down the city or whatever in a racially charged case like this. So they're like, you know what? Let's go ahead and arrest them. Let the grand jury figure it out. And then if it does go to trial, let the jury figure it out. It absolves us of any type of responsibility. It happens all the time. Police officers do good shoots and they get arrested and indicted anyway because the district attorney's office doesn't want to have to deal with the headache of, their city getting burned down. George Floyd proved that. So I think it's very important that we, be impartial, be objective, and just because we might not like someone or we call them a racist, they still have a right to defend themselves, and that's kind of that's my argument when it comes to the Chud the Builder thing. We don't have to like them, but I would argue anyone here that believes in the Second Amendment or the right to self-defense, if Chud the Builder loses this, it's going to be bad for everybody, because anyone could just walk up to you and punch you in the face, and then if you shoot them, or they put you in a headlock, now your ability to defend yourself is impeded. He didn't even kill him, no. And then also he got a $1.25 million bail, right? And that same exact courthouse let out people for like $250K, $100K, and they killed people. Some of them were pedophiles. So Carmelo Anthony got a $250,000 bail after killing somebody. So I think, look, if we're gonna, Lady Justice is supposed to be blind with the scales, right? It's supposed to be fair.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, sure.
So how do you feel about individuals calling you controlled opposition?
Well, if I'm controlled oppositions, I don't think the Jews would be trying to cancel me. I wouldn't be demonetized. I wouldn't be banned everywhere. If I was like controlled opposition, I'd have a platform somewhere and not have to worry about getting banned all the time and censored.
You were a federal agent in the past, though.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm very proud of it. Never hid it. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm so objective and honest in my worldviews, regardless of the fact that it might be offensive to some.
You talk a lot about like women and relationships in general.
Yeah.
But you are 37 and not married. So
36.
how do you feel? Oh, 36.
36.
Sorry.
Come on.
How do you feel about finding a BYU Mormon baddie?
Well, I don't know about a Mormon, but look, let me address this real quick because the other cuck said this earlier too. I don't think it's a man's job to get married. That's a woman's job, okay? Men, we are the gatekeepers to relationships. Women are the gatekeepers to sex. It's a woman's job to prove to you that she's worth the commitment. It's not your job to do that. Your job is to create value out in the world, create a name for yourself, and then if that woman wants a future with you, she's got to prove that to you. And this is kind of the issue that a lot of guys have, like the married loser from before, saying like, well, you're not married. Being married as a guy is not really, a qualification to show that you understand women or you know what you're doing. I would argue there's lots of married guys that are fucking idiots, that are getting, used by their wives, don't have the frame in the relationship. I think the measurement of success as a guy is, do other women want to be with you, and do other men want to be you? That is what makes you the man, and that's what makes, when you're able to have a selection of women that want to be with you. That's the measurement of success as a man. A measurement of success for a woman is getting married. That's a feminine prerogative. So anytime guys say, you're not married, I kind of laugh at that, because I'm like, I could get married tomorrow if I wanted to. That's not really my goal as a man. That's not what I'm put on here to do. I'm put on here to create value. If I choose to get married to a woman, I can do that. But it's my job to become worthy of being married too.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Good questions. Thank you.
Free Chud.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Myron, shout out OSS, The Debrief, Fresh and Fit. I seen Riyadh, your brother, Brett, together. Like 2 years ago, I was like super fat, depressed, living with my grandma. And after listening to you and Money Mondays and everything, you, Fresh, shout out to Fresh also, I was able to bring my credit score up to 800. I was able to
Nice.
save up more than 6 years to a month worth of savings. I lost 30 pounds. I got my own place, and I just want to say thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, yeah, I know.
And I wish we had more guys, because like the other guy that was here, like, you don't help people out with anything, and I was like, actually, I kind of do, but that's fine.
Yeah, a lot of us are a little scared because I mean this is UCLA, so.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I'm very sensitive to that. There's a lot of you guys. I realized when people didn't want to raise their hand, I was like, oh, dude, let me just chill. Like, and we won't put that in the final shot, by the way, Sean. We will not make sure the people that raise their hands are not going to be in the final shot. So don't worry, guys. We're not live streaming; it's pre-recorded. Nah, but we don't want. We try to, you know what I mean? Because some people might look at it like, oh well, you. So we're sensitive to that. But sorry, go ahead, man. But thank you for that, bro. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And I know we're separated by race, but we're united by racism.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what we mean. Yeah, you know what we mean. Like,
yeah, man. Like
it's
the
not like we
IQ
hate
people
everyone,
get that.
but it's funny. It's
yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's an IQ it's an IQ disqualifier. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't understand that, like, because I did a whole race poll with my audience, I literally have it like down the middle, like 1/3 black, 1/3 Hispanic, 1/3 white, and then we got some Jeets and Arabs in there, and terrorist niggas, go fuckers. Like it's like we have the most diverse community of like racist people, and it's awesome because like we can just like call it what it is and all be unified. It's like, yo, we're like meritocracy based. We don't really care about skin color, but if you're like an idiot, we're gonna call you an idiot and whatever pejorative stereotype there is based on your race, right? So thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like any nigga that gets mad, I mean, drop the guns and pick up the boxing gloves. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. No violence, man. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. I don't know if you heard about the book. It's called "Why Women Deserve Even Less." Got it right here. It's an Amazon bestseller.
Thank you, man.
I was wondering if you can sign it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna hang out and sign books after.
Oh, okay.
Just for you
Yeah,
guys. Don't worry.
right.
All you guys, I got a book or anything you want me to sign, I got y'all ninjas. We're not Hollywood over here. I'll sign everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Who's up next? And let's get some haters on as well. Supporters obviously can come on and say what they got to say as well. We'll make it quick so that we can.
That's fine. A little bit higher.
What's up, brother? Nice
Hi.
one.
Hey, Myron, how you doing?
What's up, man?
Man, it's good to see you here in California. I know you're in Miami, so it's my opportunity. So first of all, to congratulate you on your success. I know since you started your podcast and everything. My name is Christian. This is Chris. We're married 14 years, and in our beginning relationship, I was an idiot. Unfortunately, I was afraid of losing my wife. I was afraid of losing my children. But as a man, we need to stand up, and we believe in most men, majority of us men that I see here when I was walking in UCLA, there are lots of women walking in. But now that I see here is majority of men here, and I know for a fact men are not monogamous. Do you hear me, yo? Raise your hand if you are believing as a man you are monogamous. All of you are monogamous. I have a polygynous relationship. It's not a secret. I introduced her to my father, my wife of 14 years, 2 beautiful children, Zion and Cyrus. I love you. And I believe, Myron, you were the one 4 years ago, you saved our marriage. So I want to say, me and her, on our behalf, I want to thank you so much.
You guys, people like you guys are why I do what I do, despite like fucking cuckold losers before saying like, what do you know about a relationship? And then you married couples, right? You guys come in, and I really appreciate you coming in and like sharing your story publicly. Because for a lot of people, it's scary and nerve-wracking. But that's a big reason why I do what I do. Helping guys make more money, helping guys become better, helping marriages last. And then like now, like I can tell I knew right away, by the way. She walked over, you called over, she's recording for you, etc. This is a perfect dynamic that you want where, your wife respects you, have the relationship on your terms. This is all I want guys to do, right? Have a relationship where it's on their terms. And a lot of times your wife will be happier for that, right? So thank you so much for that, man. Because this like shuts up the haters, right? Like I have so many married people that watch the show and I'm like not able to show it off because I'm like, damn it, man. But thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening to me out. And if you guys have a problem, they say, well, this is not it's a Christian society. I believe that. But here's the thing. My name is Christian, but at the same time, I'm not a Christian. I believe in God. But if you read Jeremiah 31:31, God himself is a polygynist. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. God bless you, your wife, and your family. Thank you, guys. Big W's, man. See, the haters never show this though, right? Where'd that fucking married faggot go? You don't know my religion. It's like, all right, bro. What's up, brother?
How you doing, Myron?
What's up?
Been a fan for roughly 4 years. Watched you first when you did the interview with Tate.
Okay,
and
yep.
From there, I transferred into you, and I love the political stuff that you do. 23, already have my first property. I'm working on getting 2 jobs right now so I can be debt free. Credit score is almost 800. Thank you. A lot of people shit on Fresh. I hear Fresh how he talks about finances, credit. The guy is very good at talking. He didn't stutter when I heard him talking about credit cards and credit.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of his advice and applied it into myself. Shout out you, Nick, Sneeko, the team. Riyadh, if you're out there, I'm about your age. I'd like to be your friend.
Yeah. He's here. He's here. No,
But,
thank you for that, bro. I appreciate that. And like I said before, man, like you guys are the reason why we do what we do. Obviously, people see me saying like the crazy stuff I say or whatever, but people don't really really dive in and see like what I be talking about and really trying to help guys out because it's not about like just it's the Jews and women and black people commit too much crime. It's like, okay, dude, all right, these are the problems. We have identified some of the problems. Let's come up with some goddamn solutions.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's not just like blame everything on, white supremacy or Jews or women being retarded. Like, let's like actually come up with some solutions and like, operate in a new normal.
All right, just 2 more things. I'll try to keep it short for
Yeah.
you. One is that when I worked at my first job, there was this veteran. He was Jewish. He came in. He was from the Bronx. A lot of Hasidic Jews out there. And he was a history major. He worked for customs, and he would always tell me, you can never beat a history major or a historian because they know their history. So when I hear all these retards talking about like, oh, Ukraine this, Ukraine, or Israel and Iran, it's like, the thing is, no one knows about the Maidan Revolution. I've tuned into your shows. I know about that. Yanukovych, he got kicked out. Who got put into power? The puppet.
Yeah, exactly. Zelensky.
And now...
Yeah, because that other liberal was saying some shit about like we wouldn't be in war. It's like that happened under Obama, retard. But like, yeah, these dudes are stupid, bro. It's like they just like filibuster. They say a whole bunch of random shit, and it's like, okay, well, you're wrong about that. You're wrong about that. You got to address everything. So.
Yeah, another thing I've noticed is that Israel to the right is what Ukraine is to the left.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, if you
good point.
Like you said one time, right wing, left wing, the bird flies to
Israel. Exactly.
And the last thing that I want to say is, I was raised by a single mom. I didn't come out a degenerate because I was raised, very traditionally. I had my grandfather in my life. He passed away sadly. And
condolences.
Thank you. And basically, a lot of stuff that you said, my mom implemented into me. But she was also blind to some of the truth because she was a single mom, and she told me all the stuff of her side of the story that she wanted to tell me. And I remember Fresh said one time on the stream, he said, sometimes single moms raise you with their truth, but you don't know the truth of the father.
Yeah.
And so then I took the stuff that you talk about women, I heard my mom's story once again. I started asking her questions, challenging questions, and then I told her, why did you leave? Your happiness doesn't matter. You dragged me through the mud. I suffered. Thankfully, I didn't come out like these other degenerates because single moms produce a lot of criminals.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, they do. You had that tough talk with her.
Yeah, I did.
Bro, I had that tough talk with her.
She got very visibly upset. I'm your mother. Why would you do this? Why would you say this? But then in the end, she conceded, and she said, you know what? You're right. I shouldn't have nagged your dad so much. I should have just stuck with him. You would have came out far more competent than you are right now.
Shit. Damn. Well, that's a huge concession, man. That's a W right there. You got a woman to admit accountability. Holy.
Like
Good work,
said,
man.
she did get a little bit upset.
Of
but
course.
She heard the logic and everything. And she
Takes
said,
time.
okay. Yeah, and what really did it for her was when I told her, when you have a kid, your happiness doesn't matter. You eat, sleep, and breathe that kid.
Yeah.
And there's that saying that they say, fathers will sacrifice their happiness for the family. Women will sacrifice their family for their happiness.
Absolutely, they do all the time, and this is what I mean when I say like this is a new normal for men. Like you guys got to understand that like women are told like if the relationship isn't good, like just leave. Like do not sit there and be in a toxic relationship or an abusive relationship. Like things like telling your girlfriend to do certain things or having her have roles or whatever. That's considered like toxic and like abusive now. They've like completely bastardized what an abusive relationship is. Like giving your woman instruction is considered abusive nowadays. So. And that's the new normal. So like, this is why women overwhelmingly initiate divorce because they all think that they're abused, right? And this is why academia, psychology, it's created a lot of the problems and exacerbated the issue when it comes to feminism, because every woman thinks she's a victim in a relationship with a guy who has standards.
Yeah, and my father was the one working. You know, she had a townhouse. She had the bills paid. She never ran out of money. She bought whatever clothes she wanted. She bought me whatever I wanted. Food was always put on the table. What really did it for her was when he started going out with his friends, and his friends started taking him to like strip clubs and this and that. And that's kind of where she started getting at him.
Yeah.
And, you know, the man, he's not going to listen to his women. So
Yeah.
he just took it as like, why am I going to listen to you? And then his friends started telling him, you're the man of the house. Why is she telling you this? Do this, come out with us. And so he also let himself get controlled by his friends, where he should have not listened to him and stayed with us.
Yeah.
Because then he started spending money on other women.
Yeah.
And that's where I told my mom, that's where the man's loyalty is, their time and their money. He's putting his resources in another woman.
Yeah, and that's going to
what
create
really-
issues. Yeah. All right. Well, no, man, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you sharing your story. And yeah, absolutely going to sign. Don't worry, guys. All you guys that have books or anything like that, merch, you guys want me to sign, I got you on Ninjas. I will absolutely stick around and sign. Who's up next? Do we have any feminists? Where'd the kitchen women go? Where'd the fat bitches? Where'd they go? They ran away? Where'd the haters go? They ran away? All right, let's try to get somebody that didn't come. I know you spoke earlier. Let's try to get some people in that, and we'll kind of go, because, Sean, how much more time we got? 20 minutes? All right. Go on, bro.
I appreciate you, Myron. My name is Marcel. How's it going, everybody?
What's up, Marcel?
So with the Chud the Builder, so I got to disagree with you, man. I'm
Sure.
so sorry. I'm with academics on this.
Okay.
Like, I feel like your point, as far as, like, I get what you're saying. You know, if the video is right, you might be right. But just giving off his history, I don't think is going to go look out for him, especially with Axe point of the portion of force. Like, if you punch somebody, normal circumstances, everybody's going to punch back or run away. He shot someone. That's why he crossed the line. So for me, I'm just like, I don't think he's going to get out of it.
So you made two arguments there. One argument on proportionality, and then the other argument on prior behavior.
Yeah.
Okay, so the prior behavior, is it going to really matter so much?
I think so.
Well, here's the thing. Use of force, like when it comes to use of force, they're going to look at that particular instant.
Mhm.
Like his politics, what he's done before, etc. That's not going to really come into it. Now, if he was the antagonizer, of course, yeah. But the reality is that this guy, Fox, was the antagonizer. And if we're going to go ahead and compare histories, Fox has a very lengthy criminal history. You know, try to burn a house down, try to, get his kid killed in there. So I would argue that it's probably in the prosecution's best interest to not try to bring up Chud's past, because if they do, then the defense can absolutely bring in Fox's past. And then if they bring him in, he's going to have to probably testify. Fox is the star witness for the prosecution, and he's going to get absolutely eaten up on the stand. So I don't think it's in the prosecution's best interest to bring up prior stuff, and I think it's going to be very limited if they do. Because again, just because you're a bad person, right, morally, or you might not agree with their politics, doesn't mean that that individual doesn't have the right to defend themselves when they're being attacked, which in this case, I think we can both agree that Joshua Fox was the aggressor and closed the distance. So therefore, I said Jason Love for a second. Joshua Fox. Sorry, just another black guy. Sorry. Yeah. Well, I got to do an interview with him too, so that's another thing too.
Oh, shit.
So Adam, yeah, we got to work. Yeah. See, I was already thinking ahead to the next interview. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so with Josh Fox, what ended up happening basically was he closed the distance, so he's the aggressor. Now, the other argument made was proportionality, right? So when it comes to proportionality, let me ask you this: if a woman is being raped, can she use deadly force?
Yeah, but that's a woman. Like, come on, like,
okay,
that's a different gender. Come on, like, if a man punches me, I'm gonna punch back. Now, even if I had a firearm, right? Most men is probably gonna punch back. They don't want to use the firearm unless I really have to.
Okay, now here's the thing: what if an MMA fighter punches you?
Well, he's going to jail because, like,
no, but see where I'm doing with the logic here?
No. But even still, anybody in their right mind wouldn't mess anybody with a cauliflower ear. Come on now.
No. But the point
even still, why are you antagonizing someone else? Why are you antagonizing
bro? No. The guy antagonized him, dude.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying in this case, but like, if we even prior to this history, we knew eventually something gonna happen. Come on, bro. He's antagonizing black people.
Yeah, but that doesn't justify it, bro. Like, see, what you're basically doing.
But all right, hold on. So, no, pause. Because we see in the real world with anti-Semitism, right? We criticize Jews. No, pause. Because remember what Axe said.
Yeah.
You criticize Jews, right?
Yep.
And what their response? Put you on a bomb and put you on Gaza, right?
Sure.
Now you can say that's unethical. No, you can say that's unethical.
No,
right?
I'm saying it's not analogous whatsoever to the example.
No, but what I'm saying is unethical. Is unethical as far as like the like me. If I say something, doesn't mean go do this drastic thing. Like if I punch you, doesn't mean grab gun. That's drastic.
Okay, so let me so let's go back, guys. Let me don't worry about them, bro. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. Because you're making an argument, guys. Leave them. You're making an argument about proportionality, and that's fair. What I'm arguing with you is that like proportionality is based on the circumstances. So like proportionality can always change. Like you're making an argument like, someone punched you, that doesn't justify you to shoot them. Yeah. Okay, but there's aggravating factors that can easily escalate. Zimmerman, for example. Yeah. He was being punched by Trayvon.
No. With that, I understand. No, listen, with that, he has proof of I've been damaged. He's been beating me. Whatever. So,
yeah, but you don't have to wait until you're getting your ass whooped to use deadly force, bro. You don't have to like get your head bashed and all this other stuff. You can use if you have reasonable belief that you are going to be the victim of death and or serious bodily injury, you can use deadly force, man. Now again, and then in a state like Tennessee, you don't have a duty to retreat. Now when it comes to proportionality, the reason why I asked you is if a woman is being raped, can she use deadly force? If you're being strangled, can you use deadly force? What I'm trying to argue is that your hands can be looked at as a deadly weapon because your argument is like, proportionality. I'm making an argument, well, if you're going to go strictly hand to gun, sure, but what if it's an MMA fighter? What if it's a trained fighter? He punches you. Well, guess what? If an MMA fighter punched you, you would be justified in pulling out a gun and shooting him because
he's trained. Yeah, he's
trained. But what I'm trying to say is that there's aggravating factors where proportionality can be met even though someone has a deadlier weapon. So I'll give you the example. Earlier I gave the example where they were going to the ground as an armed individual while being in a headlock. These are all aggravating circumstances that will increase the likelihood and or the justification of using deadly force. And again, me and you can't really Monday morning quarterback it. We don't know. This guy comes up to him saying, I got PTSD. I'm a veteran. You can make off that. Okay, this guy's kind of crazy. And then he goes ahead and then he punches you after you said a word. And then after that, you go to the ground and he might have been touching his gun. He might have been saying, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to get you. Blah, blah, blah. All of these different things are going to play into his mind. This is why Kyle Rittenhouse was able to walk. He took the stand. And when he took the stand, he was able to illustrate in excruciating detail precisely what was going through his mind. Because if you remember, those guys didn't have guns either. Some dude came running at him with a skateboard. Another dude was just coming with open fist. But he was able to articulate, even though I had an AR-15, and this dude's coming at me with a skateboard, and this dude's coming with a fist, I can articulate that I'm in a dangerous, vulnerable position. And though the proportionality technically is not the same, I can use deadly force.
No, I understand. Two people, with deadly forces. All right.
But what I'm saying is like proportionality can, regardless of like one person has this weapon and this other person has another weapon, that's not just the only metric of what defines proportionality is my point.
All right, got you. All right, that was my only thing with that. So my original point when I originally came up here for, my bad. So
you still think Chud is like didn't have a right to self-defense here, given all the facts that I described before?
No. If everything
you don't have to like him, bro.
No.
You don't have to like him.
No, I haven't seen the video because I know the video's gone. If I'm not mistaken,
they played a part. They played a part of the surveillance video, but there is a pump fund video from him streaming.
Yeah, that's what
where
I'm
he gets
talking
punched.
about. I haven't seen that, so I want that to come out. Then I can make my judgment because I know when.
Let's assume with the fact pattern that I gave you that they played in court, that the investigator testified.
If everything's saying what you're saying is right, but I need to see the video first. Yeah.
Okay, so based on the fact pattern I gave, would you say he acted in a reasonable fashion?
Yeah, on the back.
Okay, fair.
On the fact pattern.
Fair.
But
and I appreciate that you don't like him and you don't agree, but like you can be impartial and be like, you know what, I don't like this nigga, but you know what. This dude Joshua Fox is doing crazy shit.
Yeah. Also too, I'm gonna wait till the evidence, of course, to see the video. But my original point where I really came up here to talk about, because I'm not gonna lie, bro, I mess with you, but I feel like your take on black culture is disingenuous.
Sure, go ahead.
Now hear me out. I feel like as people, right? Like the stereotypes and all that stuff like that, but there's been history of why we're in the position to win. Like we have tried to build economic wealth through our our towns and stuff, but they've been burnt down. We have tried to we have to fight for civil rights. That sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to do these things to get to where we are. So also too, there's still people that's still living from those days. So I don't expect a turnover to come through now. Like I see slowly but surely, I feel like our people are getting better, but I feel like sometimes you don't acknowledge the history before.
Okay, and thank you for the opportunity to give you my side. I actually do acknowledge the history. I understand. I've said this before. I understand that there was a period in the United States where black people weren't being treated fairly. There was not an equality of opportunity. There were obviously great disparities. But one thing I point out to is that black people were actually doing pretty well when they were the most ostracized, the most oppressed. If you look at Black Wall Street, pre-civil rights era, etc. It forced people to, here's my argument. It forced them to work together and stay in their own communities, and most importantly, the father was in the home. One of the biggest issues with the black community is that the father's not in the home, and that creates a lot of the other issues that come after the fact. Now, with that said, I'm not going to sit here and say that there weren't injustices, that there weren't things, but my argument now is that, racism, right, and, the things of the past are no longer barriers to black people to become successful. And I would argue that we've gotten to a point now where black people have more opportunities now than ever before. We have black-only scholarships. We have historically black colleges. We have opportunities that black people have that white people don't. There's loans that are given to people that are minorities to buy a home on a first-time home buyer basis. None of these things are afforded to white men at all. So my thing is, I'm just saying is that there's no longer excuses to not be successful in America. And there's plenty of immigrants that come here from African countries that do fine, where they can also look at it like they're looked at as like blacks compared to other people. They might not even speak the language, they don't have the status, but they're still able to make it. So my criticism when it comes to black Americans is they use the civil rights era and racism and white supremacy way too much as to their failures. That's my argument.
Okay, my pushback to that is I don't think we use it as an excuse. It's just that, like, for example, you say like white supremacy doesn't exist, right? Now, I don't think it doesn't exist how it used to be.
I didn't say it didn't exist. I said I said it's not to the point. It's no longer a barrier to your success. I mean, we had some weird skinhead guy that's a part Jewish, an actor earlier, and he was trying to say like some shit, and I was like, no, white supremacy, because he was like, I'm here. I was like, yeah, it exists, but you guys are insignificant.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Well, I was saying there is significant now, but I'm saying like it's still there, but it's not like invisibly in our faces, right? It's secretly like behind the door.
In other words, age of 47 can't keep you from success. You're a pretty smart guy. We've been having a fantastic conversation here, even though we disagree. Like he's not impeded your ability to educate yourself and be smarter.
Yeah, which is why like I need to get on your platform, because even just not for me, I want black people just to hear this. Like really educate yourself on the history of our people in America, because it will teach you everything what's going on right now. Literally, it will teach you everything.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with understanding that history. And again, like I said before, like, look, I've read, the autobiography of Malcolm X. I've studied the civil rights era. I'm completely sensitive and understand that. My argument is that is no longer a viable excuse to not be successful as a black man in America.
So what would you say what we need to do in your opinion? Like what would you think like will be the next steps? Because I do want to hear this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think we need to bring back the father, right? I think we need to curb our women. I think black women are incredibly masculine, rude. They don't respect male authority. And a big part of that is because they grow up in fatherless households. So I think once we bring the father back into the household and we bring the nuclear family back, that's going to fix a lot of the problems, because, single mother households are one of the predominant reasons as to degeneracy. I think also we need to stop, right? How to say this? We need to stop where it's like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and promote like degenerate gang culture. Let's promote being uneducated. Let's promote like not being intelligent. Like for example, I guarantee, did you go to like a majority black school growing up? You did? Yeah, okay, great. You're a smarter guy. Let me tell you this, and I'm sure you probably went through this when you were growing up. If you got a good score, if you did well, you had good grades or whatever, right? And if you went to inner city school, what do they more than likely do? Oh, you a smart ass nigga, you a nerd, you a loser, blah, blah, blah. We don't promote intelligence in our community at all. We promote degeneracy. If you're not going to play in the NBA, you're not going to be an athlete, you're not going to be a rapper, you're not going to sell drugs. Thank you so much, guys in the back. Like, this is a problem in our community. I remember growing up, because I went to an inner city school too. If you had good grades, they look at you like, nigga, what the fuck, you a lame. So we need to go back to like promoting like not being an idiot. Because like when I went to college, right, and I was around a bunch of white people, if you got a bad grade, niggas would be like, what the fuck, you failed? Like they'd shame you for being stupid. But on the other hand, in the black community, we shame them for being smart. So, and then the rap music, the culture, the materialism, the drawn, which leads to a lot of the violent crime, because niggas want to get Jordans and be fresh. So I think all of these things are things we need to focus on and work on. But to bring this out, right, and I'm glad I can have this conversation with you, they'll call me a coon or Uncle Tom or a racist or whatever, but these are real problems in our community.
No, which I agree. The family dynamic, it helps everything, because they're the people, but I think the problem is we have generational trauma. I think we're still infected, bro, because we still people from them generations. They're still in that mindset of, the fear of the white man, right? So I feel like once our generation, like, the young people like me, I'm 24, once we get over that hump and really educate ourselves, we'll be better in the long road with our family, educating our fellow, even people like us, like here right now, just educate our own people. Just, hey, be more knowledgeable, be more, better than the stereotype, grow more than the stereotype. Even with our culture, every culture got degeneracy, but it's don't promote the degeneracy all the time. Yeah, like.
But the problem is that like that's the cornerstone of our culture, right? That's like the cornerstone of our culture. You look at someone like Vlad, right? Or Adam 22, we mentioned that before. Like they'll sit there and they'll criticize him and they'll say he's a culture vulture because, he's over here like breaking down rap music. Well, what are they talking about in that rap music? They're talking about killing, ops, degeneracy, women, all this other crap. So like the things that we promote and the things that we encourage like are the things that like hurt the community, but that's what's profitable. And like I would argue like within the black community, we're like the main group of people that openly and brazenly promote degeneracy. And then the whole thing with the white supremacy thing, and you said like, be scared of white people. I would argue that white people aren't a danger to blacks at all. If anything, most white people are like not really racist as much as black people think. You're more
which is why I put that,
Yeah, but here you could say that, but like realistically speaking, who are you more likely to be killed by? You're gonna more likely to be killed by someone that looks like you, bro. White people aren't gonna kill you. Yeah. So, and these are the tough conversations that people don't want to have because unfortunately, a lot of people are emotional, right? They have these issues or whatever. Me and you are having a coherent, good conversation, though we might disagree on some things. But whenever I talk with a lot of black people, whatever, like the whole Chud the Builder thing, I give them the fact pattern and be like, well, I don't care because I hate that nigga and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, which is why I said, like, from just that situation, if you're right, you got it. Because if the video, what you're saying, if he antagonized, but it's just, like, given just off his history, given I haven't seen the video yet, and I want to see when it comes out, I just don't trust his word.
Sure. But the detective even testified to this, and he did show the surveillance footage on there. But again, I think these are the problems with the black community, and I'm never able to elucidate this because I can't make it to that point because they're so focused on calling Uncle Tom.
A lot of guys, they trying to chip out. Like, bro, I'm just trying to have a dialogue conversation so I really understand your perspective because, like I said, I feel like you're disingenuous, but you're telling me now, hey, I know these things. I know, So that's why
and I never get the chance to explain it because we don't even make it there because they're chipping out, going crazy, like you're just Uncle Tom, you're racist. They go into ad homs. But like, these are the problems, or they'll say you're not black, right? Which is like, I think that's comical too, because like in the black community, this is why no one says anything because if you are black, they'll say, well, you're not really black because you're a tether, you're from here, you can't talk about our problems.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, I'll tell you this because I understand that perspective. So it's more like this: black. They're
above criticism, is my point. Unless you're black, they'll sit there and say you can't criticize us, which is like comical because the same white guy said that before, and I said he was chipping out too. He was like, you can't talk about this because you can't talk about our white women because you're black, and I'm like, shut up, idiot. Like, I don't have to be a mathematician to say 1 + 1 is 2.
Right? I'll tell you from a black. I get their perspective. They're basically saying this, right? Because given your ancestry, right? You're from Sudan. You're first generation immigrant, right? So you have no ancestry to, the American slaves. So they're like, you're not black. You don't understand, you have.
But you know what the crazy part is?
Yeah, no,
I do because I grew up here and I was born here.
Yeah.
So like I went through all and this is another reason too why like I'm so like unapologetic about this. I went through all the stereotypes. I've been followed around. I've been pulled over by the cops. And on top of that, I get the 9/11 jokes too. I get the fucking Muslim jokes and I get the black jokes. So I got it from both sides. So like when people like, sit there and say, well, you don't understand the black experience, whatever. I really understand it. That is why I am so, gung-ho on telling young black men, do not fall for the propaganda that you're a victim. You can do better and you have more opportunity now than ever before. And sometimes when you tell people, yo, the glass is full, it's not really as empty as these guys try to tell you where it's systemic racism and, you're being oppressed. Like, they really can be like, wait, you're telling me that I can do it? Yeah, bro, you can. As a matter of fact,
the problem is just the access of education, to be honest. Because once you get the knowledge, you realize everything. Because that's really the problem is the lack of education in the black community. We lack the education to...
And it's not encouraged either.
Yeah, it's not encouraged.
Like which we discussed before. I guarantee you got clowned all the time. You got good grades. And it's not encouraged in our community. That's a problem. In other communities, like you look at Indians, Asians or whatever, them niggas get a B and they're crying because they know their mom is gonna smack them when they go home. You get a B, they're like, nigga, you a bitch. What the fuck? I got a D. You should be getting a D like me. We need to go sell drugs for the D. So it's like that's what it is in the black community. And like when I highlight this, they'll just say you're a coon, you're an Uncle Tom, get the fuck out of here, or you don't understand the experience. No, I really do, and that's why I am so unapologetic on this topic because I'm praying that I can get through to black guys that can listen to me, right? Like these brothers over here that understand that this is beyond race. Like me saying nigger, saying things that are offensive, that's to get your attention. But then hopefully if you actually listen to what I got to say, which I appreciate you gave me the chance to do that, you'll see like, damn, okay, we are actually agree on a lot of things here. Maybe your delivery's off,
I've been keeping up with you since you started, since 2020, brother. I've been keeping up. So I know, the trolling thing with the N-word and stuff like that. So like, I get it. That's that's fugazi. So, the direct conversation. So, which is why like I came up here just to talk about that, which, I appreciate you. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you, bro. We need more conversations like that. Thank you. Smart brother right there. You said I'm the top tether in chief? I am. Yeah, man. Tether's up, bro. Yeah, because I know they call you a tether too, nigga. You Colombian. Which I think is comical because it's like even more divisive rhetoric, which doesn't help the black community at all. But what's up, man?
Yo, shouts out OSS, bro. I've been watching you for like a good 3 to 4 years.
Shout out to you, bro.
I got my credit from 6 to 7 watching All Your Money Mondays. You know, a lot of black people say I'm not black because all it takes I can get from you. But I'm like, bro, we built together, like you said, Black Wall Street, something we had when we was depressed.
When we were the most oppressed,
Yeah,
right?
when we
Like,
were
and
most
if they were
oppressed.
black people did better back then than they do now, right? So it's
Yeah.
like I always say to myself, like, there's nothing holding black men back, bro. It's like if anything, it's like dumb other niggas that hold you back.
Yeah, exactly. Like we get go into like buying shoes. Like shit, I did a nigga thing after I got my credit from watching All Your Money Mondays. I bought myself jewelry, and I said that's all.
Yeah. See, like the niggers was like, oh,
Yeah, I had to do
materials.
it. I had to
I
do
get
it.
it, bro. I've been there too. Like we all been there, bro. We did some dumb nigga shit. We're like, damn, what are we doing?
But I still went, bought myself gold, bought myself silver. You
Good.
know, did everything that you said. And one question I had to ask you was,
Yeah.
what do you think we should all, like, as Americans, invest into going on that's in the Middle East? Like, do you think that's not going to ever happen? Like, we have to pay the $2 million for the tankers if worse comes to worse.
I think we need to focus on America and not the Middle East, which is the whole problem,
Yeah.
right? Like I think we need to adapt like a serious level of nationalism. This is where I disagree with the other guy, where it's like you can only be a nationalist if you're white. Well, look, bro, it's 2026. It's not 1926. Whites are no longer 80 to 90% of the population. We have a new America, and we have to move with the new America and be very realistic and pragmatic of where we are. So I think, undivided, unapologetic nationalism. I'm talking the American flag is flown only. We say the Pledge of Allegiance. You can't take a kneel. None of this fucking bullshit. Like, we need hardcore nationalism where we are really, like, not even America first. I would argue it needs to go to the point where it's like America only. Non-interventionalism, being very pragmatic, and, doing right by our people, because we are in a horrible situation economically, geopolitically, diplomatically. So I think we got to get out of the foreign East and the Middle East, and I think interventionism in a multipolar world is setting us up. It's a cruising for a bruising, and China's starting to surpass us in so many different ways.
Yeah, China has always surpassed us. Like,
Bro,
really
it's
all
so
time
bad,
in
and it's like,
tech.
and it's crazy to me because like not enough Americans understand like how quickly they're catching up to us.
Yes, because even like them sending them help, and a lot of Americans saying like, no, they're not giving them help at all, and it's like they
No, they
clearly are giving them.
They
help.
are, dude. That's
Like,
why those drones and their ballistic missiles are so accurate. They're using Chinese spy satellites.
Yeah, and it's like there's a lot of Americans that are ignorant to the fact that they're not using no other form of intelligence of getting other help.
Shit.
So now, do you think that we're kind of fucked in the Middle East? Like we have no longer.
No, I think we can fix the situation, but we are not going to fix the situation until we handle the Palestine question.
Yeah.
That is the root cause of all the issues in the Middle East. They are never, and for any Israeli in here that's a Zionist, like I'm going to be honest with you guys, you're never going to have peace in Israel, and you're never going to be accepted by the Muslim world into the Abraham Accords until you answer the Palestine question. You must either make a one-state solution or a two-state solution, give these guys some type of citizenship, give them some sovereignty, and we can have a one-state Israel, right? I have a whole like plan on what I would do if I was to be like, the foreign embassy or whatever,
Fear.
but like the fear or whatever, but like but you have to answer the Palestine question because everything else fixes after that. Now there's no need for proxies. Now there's no need for them to have nuclear bombs like that. Now you can go ahead and actually exercise some level of diplomacy with Iran. We can get fucking gas at $1 a gallon, bro, and like really like kill it, right? But we have to reel in Israel and solve the Palestine question because everything from there, the dominoes are going to start falling into place.
Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna really happen because
As long as we have a Jewish lobby that's powerful, it's never going to happen. You're
Jewish
right.
people are very selfish.
Yeah.
They even have you ever heard about them having their own city?
Or Zionists, yeah.
Yeah, they have like their own entire little city.
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
New Jersey, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's fucking crazy. Like
crazy,
they have their
bro.
own environment, and then we pay for like their new kids. We're paying. They get free healthcare over there. We don't get free healthcare.
Jewish supremacy is a thing, bro. There's a
It's
reason
like
why
crazy.
when Nick Shirley exposed the Somalian thing, it was all over the place. But then
Yeah.
when Tyler Oliveira did the same thing, they fucking banned his ass everywhere, bro.
Banned him everywhere.
So,
But
and
yeah, that's all I had to say.
No worries, man. Thank you.
Thank you for all the good advice over the years. Keep it going. Can you please do more Money Mondays? I'm trying to watch some more of those,
yeah,
bro.
we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back
like,
because
I
I know
haven't seen one
you
in a
guys, a lot of you guys mentioned it. We'll bring it back.
All right, thanks, man.
5 more minutes. Okay. Yeah, we'll speed round it. Go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, no, hi.
Hi.
Hey, I am not from the bitchin' kitchen.
Okay.
I just came up here to say thank you. Honestly, I do watch your content, and I've been watching you, Fresh and Fit, and everybody, you know, for a while now, and you don't understand how hard it is to swallow those offensive words. But you know what? They did get to me after a while. I started listening.
Thank you for giving me a chance.
I did give you a chance, and I listened to you, and I've been on a road. Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
No,
you.
because what you're doing is like most women simply can't do. So we got to show you some love.
And I'm not a part of the sisterhood. I'm so
Well, I could see that immediately.
Thank you. Yeah, and my brother listens to you, and we do cherish how outspoken that you are. What you say. I'm a little nervous coming up here. It's like
Oh
a
no,
roller
you're
coaster.
fine. You're fine. And it's not easy to come up and have these discussions, and I'm sensitive to that. And I thank you so much for doing that, because I know you're probably gonna get some hate right now. You hate that Ray. You like that racist nigga.
Nah.
So
It's
I
all
appreciate
good.
that. I'm very sensitive to the fact that like supporting me can come with like some issues. So thank you.
Yeah, and shout out to the OSS.
Shout out to you.
Thank you.
Shout out to you.
All right, I'm out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We need more women like that, man. It's kind of crazy because like whenever like women watch my content, it's like they automatically, I already know they got like triple digit IQ, because it's like they can cut past the crazy terms, and they're like, okay, let me hear what this motherfucker's really got to say. Oh, this makes sense. So that in of itself is like a demonstration of higher IQ. If you're able to put your feelings aside and like look at the content of the information versus the context of the information. So, hi.
Hey, how's it going? I'm from LA. I grew up here, straight Mexican, but my parents came here. My parents came here legally. I agree with the sign 100%. Honestly, like if you can't come here the right way, like you can't do things like that, man. So thank you very much for coming here. Shout out OSS. Joined OSS. I'm hitting up one chest because I've been gaining some weight. So and
No, you can't be fat.
They've been helping me out a lot. Thank you very much. Have a great one.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for being patient. What's up, man? Yeah, they do, surprisingly. I thought I was going to, like, get attacked by some purple-haired libs or some shit. But,
Hi,
yeah.
Myron. My name is Derek.
We'll be back, though. What's up, man?
My name is Derek. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I just want to ask, a real quick question. What are your thoughts on the chances of a third party actually winning an election?
That's a fantastic question. No, that's a fantastic question. Realistically speaking, it's just that the Democrats and the Republicans are just so established, right? There's a reason why they call it the good old boys party, right? Like, it's just, they're just so, this is like, you look at someone like a Thomas Massey, right?
Yes.
He's got to be a Republican, even though he's a libertarian, right? So, unfortunately, like, the third party is just not a viable option. It's going to be very difficult to get behind. If it did happen, it would take multiple election cycles to make it happen. We need to have like some super charismatic leader that can really galvanize the youth and rebuild it. Which I'm not saying that's not possible, but I'm saying it's going to take some serious time and a lot of footwork and lots of grassroots like support.
Yeah, and speaking about the grassroots and whatnot, we need to put an emphasis on that, because when you have things like Citizens United, I know it was a while ago, but that Supreme Court decision, that basically gives the campaign finance laws puts it in the hands of the oligarchs, the mega donors, and the corporations, and they have an undue influence, and they do bipartisan funding all the time, basically undermining the so-called constitutional republic or democracy or whatever you want to call it. If we're to remain that, it's imperative that we repeal Citizens United.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that, and that's a big problem. Is like lobby groups are a big issue in America, huge. Yeah, I don't understand how it's not illegal, but the people that write the legislation are the people that have the power, right? So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you for what you do, and thanks for your courage, and I'll stay tuned in.
No,
Thanks, Myron.
appreciate that, and thank you for the smart question. Hi. Then we got to close up here, right? Okay. Hi.
Myron, so you're saying that women are stupid and they deserve less?
In most cases, yes.
Well, did you know women created Wi-Fi?
You got to be trolling. You got to be trolling.
I am trolling.
Yeah, I was going to say, because some other
trolling.
girl said that shit. Some other girl said that shit at USC. I was like, man, this is just trolling. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I wanted to say, Myron, you're actually one of my biggest idols. I think.
Well, thank you. I
you're
really
the-
appreciate that.
You're the reason why, like, you changed my views that men and women are different. Feminism is a lie. Society's too sensitive. We need to call out the stereotypes and educating Americans about them boys.
Thank you so much.
So
I appreciate that.
I've been watching your content for more than 2.5 years. I started with Fresh and Fit. I started with the Whatever podcast, but then I thought your content was more entertaining because you're calling out women for their shit.
Yeah. Brian's a lot nicer than I am.
No, yeah, no, it was very entertaining, and for me as a woman, I want to try to educate a lot of women as far as that feminism is a lie, and
we need more women like you because look, I'm very aware of the fact that my message is very volatile to people, and a lot of women are not going to take it. So if they hear someone like you say the same things, they're going to be more receptive to it because let's be honest, women tend to be more concerned with the way information is conveyed versus the content of that information. So this works fantastic when I talk to men, but with women, a lot of times it doesn't. So yeah, we need more women like you going out there and saying like, hey, don't fall for the lie. Like, this is what it is. Stop being an idiot. And they'll probably listen to you more than me. So yeah, do it.
I got into arguments with my friends already, but I'm trying to at least talk to the some of my managers who have young daughters. Like, don't think that career is going to be everything. I do want to shout out. I think people mischaracterize what you're trying to say. I think you and your brother are very talented and articulate. I also do like watching Candace Owens, Andrew Wilson,
She's great.
Andrew Tate. I do love Pearl. Nick Fuentes, I love how he's super blind, doesn't give a shit about what anybody has to say about him, especially his clip about the Nazis with Piers Morgan's. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
I do like Sneeko and Tucker Carlson, like I do, and Echoes from Above. Those are like the truth tellers, and they really like.
Well, add yourself to
educated-
the list now. You got to spread it because we need more women that look like you that can get in these rooms with these women and talk to them, etc., and have these very difficult conversations. Because for me, I simply can't get into certain rooms and do what I need to do. So you could be the Mossad spy and get in there and tell these women to wake them up. All right.
I've been waiting for the day to talk to you, so I've been watching your content almost every day.
Well, don't give up. Keep talking to the women because you can get in rooms that I can't.
So, but I actually do have a question, unless I missed something from your
Go ahead.
podcast. So you told women they need to lower their standards. So let's say women that are your age eventually become red pill or black pill. What advice would you give in finding a partner?
Find a guy that's gonna treat you well. That's gonna, that understands, has some kind of masculine semblance about him. He might not be the most attractive guy. He might not be 6'3", Chad, good looking. He might only make 60, 70K per year. But if he's a good guy, right, he has a fear of God and he's willing to take care of you and be a partner with you, there's lots of guys out there. It's just that a lot of them are just invisible to women, unfortunately. And when I say women need to lower their expectations, it's because what women are chasing a lot of the times isn't good for them. They want a Chad who's going to be loyal, that makes all this money. It's like there's not enough of these guys to go around. So if you want a guy that's going to, be loyal to you and be good to you and be like this loving, traditional guy, there's plenty of them out there. It's just that they're not attractive enough for women, or they might have a weird stutter, or they might have a weird limp when they talk, or a lisp. So when I tell women to lower their standards, a lot of times it's like, hey, date within your range, because unfortunately a lot of women don't date within their range. They think they can do better.
So even though I heard you mention that women at their late 30s, it might be too late for them, or
No, it's not too late for them. They just have to lower their standards drastically.
okay. And then I just watched your other podcast about Gen Z not being interested in the PBD, his advice, I guess, for men.
Yeah.
What can we do as society to kind of get women to change their view about feminism?
We need more women like you to go out there.
But they're hard. I mean,
it's hard, but because I can only reach a certain amount, right? So we need other people pushing the message. I'm not one of these people you can steal my shit. No, steal my stuff and go out there and tell people. I don't care. And especially with women, you guys need to educate your daughters, your sisters, your friends. They might get mad at you. They might ostracize you, whatever. But dude, if you're able to get to one chick, right, and get her to get married and save her from the lies of feminism, you did good. All you got to do is save one person. Wake one person up and you did your job.
Do you think men are kind of held accountable to kind of letting this kind of going out
For
of control?
sure. They're a big part of the problem.
Or them boys?
Yeah, that's a part of the problem, but it's also the men too. That's why I was telling that guy, like, the reason why your race, right, when it comes to white people, because like the white replacement, white genocide, etc. I told them, look, a big part of that is like you guys don't have your women under control, and since you don't have your women under control, they follow the feminism, follow the propaganda, etc. That's why you guys are in a situation where you're losing your women to education and black dudes. That's the issue, right? And they don't want to hear that, but that's the reality. So we got to attack it from multiple angles. We can attack it from one angle here. You attack it from your angle. Talk to other women. And I think that's how we do this.
All right. I know you have a line back there. I do have a couple more questions.
Oh,
It's
God.
more about the politics.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, because I do think we got to close here soon. We got to wrap it up right now. So don't worry. 5 more minutes again. I got to piss so bad. I'm like dying over here. Could I piss real quick? Come right back? Can I? I'm dying. All right. Where's the closed bathroom? Somebody help a nigga out. Right there? One. All right, and then I'm gonna run over there, and then I promise I'm gonna come right back. I feel like a new man. All right. Hey, I'll hang out as long as you guys need me to, bro. As long as you're okay with me staying here, I'll hang out as long as you guys need me to. There's no breaks on the train.
No,
All right.
I did watch the whole Anus Reach shit. I think it was really fucking hilarious.
Losers, yeah.
I'm trying to get my friend to stop watching them because she did like Anus Reach, but then you like exposed them. I thought it was very entertaining.
Oh yeah, dude. The hypocrisy is nuts. Aborted retreat is what I call them now. Aborted retreat, bro.
Okay, so sorry. I'll try to make this real quick.
Yeah.
So, do you think it was inevitable that the war in Iran was going to happen anyways? Because Netanyahu still did the 12-day war. So even if like Trump tried to negotiate with Netanyahu on the last bombing, like wouldn't that not make a
it was
difference?
inevitable. And literally, like Marco Rubio admitted this. He obviously changed his story after, but yeah, it was inevitable, and that's why we got involved, because we knew that they were going to strike us if the Israelis struck them anyway. So they said, you know what, we might as well get ahead of it.
This could be like a conspiracy, but I was thinking about it. Is like, I think I forget that guy's name that quit. I forget his name, but
There was a couple, Mike Waltz.
the highly the one that's with Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh my God. Joe Kent. Thank you. Joe Kent. Yeah, Joe Kent resigned. Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about with Tucker Carlson about his like how Trump is actually not stupid. He has a really big family. Do you think that I guess the Zionists or Israel could be threatening his family or like threatening American citizens in the background?
So, a lot of people say that like there's like, he's being blackmailed and shit like that. Some people say that. Obviously, they have like very lucrative business deals in the Middle East as well. So there's a whole bunch of, different issues. And then also people forget that he comes from the real estate world in New York City, right? That's obviously very, Jewish dominated. So, it is what it is. But we do have a lot of people. Do you mind if we can go to the next person, if that's okay? Or did you have one last quick thing that you want to say?
No, you could go to the next person.
Okay.
But I know you already said it, but
Yes, of course. I'm going to I will not leave one book unsigned.
Thank
I
you
got
so
y'all.
much.
What's up, man?
Mr. Gaines, how are you?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you. We met a couple of years ago back at AmFest in Arizona. It's good to see you again.
Yes, I think I recall meeting you.
Yeah, I was just with Jake Lang, actually, standing outside the courthouse, Montgomery County Courthouse, when Jake was
you were there.
arrested. Yeah, I was there for the court hearing.
Awesome.
I'm super happy you're covering this topic because I think it's pretty important when it comes to the freedoms of speech.
Did you
that
see
we
the
all
video?
Enjoy.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, I did. I was there. I mean, at the hearing.
So you saw the video at the hearing?
Yeah.
Was the fact pattern like I said?
Exactly as you said. So
Thank
I
you,
just
sir.
want to give credence to what you said. It's exactly true. I had a couple questions real quick to ask you, but one thing I wanted to preface, I think you remember meeting my wife, Sarah. She was with me in Arizona when we met for the first time.
Yeah.
We have 6 children together. I'm 29 years old.
Congratulations. That's a beautiful thing. That's great.
I want to say
Where's that Jewish fucking white nationalist? You need to talk to him. You need to tell, hey, you need to do this, motherfucker.
Yeah, I got married at 19. All of my buddies pressured me, and I think a lot of guys can attest to experiencing the same thing. You maybe have heard that, like, you're going to miss out. You need to screw a lot of bitches, and sorry for my French, but, like, you're going to sleep around, live your life, experience life, right? That's what was said to me. And my wife said, well, what say you, when we were engaged? And I said, you know what? All of my first experiences and all of my last experiences I want to have with you and nobody else. I think we have a tradition in our culture of monogamy that's so important and should be valued and should be held in high esteem. All of our literature, going back to England, it's the knight, it's the prince who's going after the princess. A princess who's held up in a tower, whose virtue has been maintained and protected. In my life with my wife, when I met her, her father and her brothers protected her virtue, protected her chastity, and looked after her. And because of that, that's one of the reasons I really, really prized her, because she was pure, she was whole, she was innocent, she wasn't run through. You know, I was her first kiss. I love that. You know, and I feel like so many people, because of the degradation of our society, are not going to be able to experience that kind of beauty. Monogamy is central to our culture as Americans. It's also central to Christianity. If I'm mistaken, do you support polygyny?
Yeah. So my thing is, I think. So let me give you my position on this. I understand the importance of monogamy. I understand that it's how you build a society. I understand that when men are monogamous, they tend to be more, future oriented. They stabilize a bit. They want to build they want to, work and provide for their family. Now, the things that you experience are great. I wish more guys can experience it, but unfortunately, this is no longer the new normal for most men. Most men, when they meet a girl, they're not going to be the first kiss. They're definitely not going to be the first dick, and they're not going to be the first guy to take her on a date. And I would argue in today's day and age, with the way women are, women have changed so much that to adhere to or hold that belief can set guys up for a really bad time when it comes to what is now basically has become a fairy tale. Now, what you have is fantastic, and I'm glad that you have that. That's beautiful. The reality is that most guys are not going to be in a position to find that and or get that, unfortunately, in today's society in 2026 with the way feminism is and everything else like that. So what I tell guys is, when it comes to the way the new normal is, you must adapt to the new normal. And I think guys need to be experienced with women where they're in a position where they're not necessarily being controlled via sex, because that is the female strategy, where they are going to, oh, you want to pussy, you need to take the trash out. Oh, you want to do this, you need to do that. You can't be in a situation where your woman is leveraging sex against you for compliance, which is how a lot of modern women do it, and a lot of guys will put themselves in compromising situations. So I don't want guys to be put in compromising situations for sexual access. Rather, I want them to be experienced with women, so the girl is, chasing their validation versus the other way around. So you need to be able to understand women, and unfortunately with that, you have to have premarital sex to a degree. I know this is very not, holy, and I know this is like very...
Why? What's the ultimate goal?
To have family.
So having a lot of premarital sex and fornicating is the ultimate goal, is to have a family through that?
Well, so yes, your goal should be to have a family, but you also don't want to start a family with a woman that's a harlot that's going to ruin your life and make it bad for your children, where she's going to divorce you and cheat on you, etc.
So you should be a man whore, and that somehow is going to make you a man. I'm not following. So
yeah, so okay. The female sexual strategy when she meets a guy is to sell purity. Right. I'm a good girl, commit to me, give me your resources. If a guy isn't experienced enough, he won't be able to tell if she's telling the truth or not. The only way that you're going to be able to tell that as a man nowadays is you need to be able to date women and identify certain characteristics, traits, and behaviors that are not conducive to a long-term relationship. Because unfortunately, since so many women grow up in fatherless households, a lot of women grow up with a very toxic mindset of masculinity. A lot of women grow up with this feminist ideology where they don't respect masculine authority and the things that, like you mentioned, like how your wife, right? She was preserved and protected by her
father and brothers. Yeah,
most women don't have that. So since most women don't have that, you kind of had a pre-assembled woman. Most men do not have that. So what they have to do is they almost have to assemble the woman on their own, and they do that through vetting her, figuring out what she is, and then going off of that. And I know this, some women might get mad at me for saying this, But this is the reality of dating as a man, because if you get married to a woman, you have far more to lose a lot of times than the woman has to lose. So that's why I tell guys, you need to be aware of this stuff, and you only get that through being around women.
I just have a caveat to what you just said.
Sure.
I will say here's a better strategy for men. There's plenty of really good, godly girls who are protected by their fathers and their brothers, but you're not going to find them in the strip club. You're not going to find them in the bars. You need to go to conservative Reformed Christian churches or holiness Pentecostal churches or independent Baptist churches where they're raised with that society and that culture, where not only are they shamed by their family if they go out and become sluts, they're shamed by their entire community, their church, family, everybody. So they are socially engineered already from childhood, from birth, to maintain chastity, to maintain virtue, that your duty is to be a wife and a mother in the home and to serve your husband. And that's what I got with my wife. So, guys,
no, I know, and
that's
that's fantastic that you were able to find a girl that had these social training wheels in place where she came to you ready as a wife and she was prepared. What I'm saying is that that's just not a viable option for most guys.
I just don't think most guys.
It's not realistic.
With all due respect, I don't think most guys are looking in the right place. You're not going to find them on the beaches. You're not going to find them in the bars. You're going to find them in a conservative church. I don't think the majority of the guys out here are going church shopping to go find.
Now, I'll be honest about this. I'm sure there's plenty of guys here that, you know, women will be hoes on Saturdays and go to church on Sundays, right? Like, so, like, even if you go to the church and you know use these screening tactics that you're mentioning, which I agree with you. I think they're fantastic ways to kind of screen women. You're still going to have to be put through your paces and be able to identify a girl that's faking it until she makes it.
If you go to a non-denominational church and the girls dress like hoes during service, you're probably in the wrong church, because if they dress like hoes, chances are they're hoes. What I'm advocating for is that you go to a church with conservative values and morals. Go find the women there where those values and morals are maintained, because there's peer pressure from society.
Sure, that's one option. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people are not religious. A lot of people are not Christian. A lot of people might not, they might be Jewish, they might be Muslim, they might be more secular or whatever. I'm giving more advice that's pragmatic based on where we are and how things are now. If they're Christian and they, adopt your worldview, a Christian worldview, that's a fantastic way to go about it. But I'm giving a more, how do I say this? A bigger and larger overview for more men that they can adopt that might not necessarily be Christian based. But if you're a Christian based, that's a great way to go about it. I still, tell guys like, hey, still exercise discretion, because a woman can go to church and still be a 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But that is one way to mitigate some of the risk.
Well, I think society at large, that's corrupt. It's immoral, and this is you're paid to be so. The algorithms on social media promote promiscuity. We see all of these things. It's standardized in our culture, yet the reality is there's another culture that's part of American heritage culture, and that's Christianity. Okay, that's part of the fabric of our society, and if you're going to miss out, you're going to miss out.
Fair.
But my recommendation to all men here is find Christ, become a Christian, get yourself in a conservative church. You probably won't find them out in California. At least there'll be very few. So get the heck out of California. Find a religious community, get involved, get married young, have more children than you can afford. That was the best advice Charlie ever gave to me. Last question real quick.
Sure.
What do you think Charlie Kirk would say about Chud the Builder and his predicament today if he were alive? Just speculating.
I don't know. I think he would champion his ability to free speech. But I don't know. And I don't want to speak for someone that's a deceased. Rest in peace to him. Me and Charlie might have disagreed on Israel and everything else, but obviously, the people that are cheering his death and everything else like that, like fuck them. Rest in peace to Charlie. But yeah. So I wouldn't know.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm anti-Israel as well, anti-Zionist. God bless you. Thank you for
Thank
giving
you.
me the
And
time.
I appreciate
to,
you.
to
I
ask the
appreciate that
questions.
we have someone here that's a witness that actually watched the footage from there, because I think a lot of people don't know the facts of the case. And it's good that we have someone here that actually watched Josh Fox walk up to this guy and and hit him and punch him first, and they go to the ground and everything else like that. But thank you for that.
Thank you so much. And guys, if you don't want your children to end up being thoughts, hoes, sluts, don't send them to public school. Homeschool them. Get them out of the society and the culture that's
I agree with
perverting
that.
your children.
I
God
agree
bless
with
you
that.
guys.
Thank
God
you,
bless
man.
America.
Thank you. Thank you. Who's up next? Yeah, a lot of the times they do. Yeah, a lot of times they do.
How
What's
you
up,
doing,
man?
bro? Hey, good to see you, Myron.
Good to see you too, man.
So I'm running for office as a Republican here in California, and one of the big issues that we have is the Zionists have completely overrun our party. How do we get the Zionists out of the Republican Party?
We're gonna need to get behind politicians like you that want to get them out of here. All the influencers, all of us, we got to get by. You know, if there's a politician, he's like, yo, in the right wing at least, not necessarily the left wing, because the Democrats are faggots and they're socialists, and they don't really they look at Israel from another perspective. They look at it more from a humanitarian perspective, which there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, what's going on in Palestine's a problem, but they don't look at the nationalistic perspective. We need to get behind politicians that are anti-Israel, and the right wing especially, because they control the GOP. That's the last bastion that they have at this point, right? There's a reason why losers like Mark Levin and a lot of these like pro-Zionist people are going to the right wing. You look at someone like Bill Ackman, who's a lifelong Democrat. He's voting Trump all of a sudden. I wonder why.
Alan Dershowitz too.
Alan Dershowitz, exactly. Yeah, he left the Democrat Party and he's going over to the Republican Party. So this proves what we've always said. A lot of these Zionists, especially these prominent ones, are Israel first. Their American politics comes second to their Israeli politics.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'll let somebody else take a shot.
Thank you, man. Yeah, can you like introduce yourself real quick to the people and tell them we're like what the district and everything else like that? So
Yeah, I'm running. My name's Dennis Vetoza. I'm running for Congress in Hollywood, Glendale, Burbank, and Pasadena, Ashland. If you're registered to vote there, I'll be right there. We can chat a little bit. Thank you so much.
No worries, man. We need more anti-Zionist politicians in government, bro. So anyone that's a Republican, especially, I already know that's an uphill battle. They're gonna AIPAC's gonna try to fund and get you out of there, like they did with Massey. Unfortunately, $35 fucking million they spent to get Massey out of there.
Hey, what's up,
What's up, man? How are you?
Man, I never would have expected to meet you today, man. Yes, I'm kind of nervous, man, but I wanted to ask you
Nothing to be nervous about, my friend.
I want to learn from you. Like, where could I follow you? I know you do. I have that OSS stuff.
Yeah.
Like, where could I follow you?
What was that you said?
Where could I follow you? I want to learn like finances and stuff like that.
We're on YouTube. We're on Rumble, Kick, everywhere.
All right.
Fresh and Fit.
Thanks,
Myron Gaines X.
Appreciate it, man.
No worries. Thank you, bro. And guys, don't make fun. It takes a lot of courage to get up on a microphone and talk in front of a lot of people. You know what I mean? Not everyone is like, a public speaker or anything else like that. So shout out to you, bro. And everyone that gets on the microphone, by the way, to include even the fucking liberal idiots from earlier. What's up, man? How are you?
Howdy. How you doing, sir?
How are you?
Hey, good afternoon. Blessed. I don't know who Chud is. I'll be honest.
Okay, that's fine. What do you...
I'll be Chud.
Okay.
I'll be Chud. And you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong that I did nothing wrong. I do wrong shit all the fucking time. And you know what? That's the fucking problem. Is that men out here are constantly doing the wrong shit and women test the fuck out of it. And they fucking don't respect it. And the solution to all the problems is to just do the right shit all the time. A mentor of mine that I met at the sauna, that's what the fuck he preaches. He preaches all the time, just be about 100. Be about your shit. And that's the solution to the problems.
Do you have like a question or anything or a disagreement or?
No, I don't really got nothing like.
Fair.
Like, that's the answer to a majority of the shit that's going on. And it's just bringing awareness to everyone.
All right. Let's get to the next person though, just because we're very short for time, man. I want to do like a speed round.
And so real quick.
I don't know what that
The
is.
answer is that everything's right in front of us. And so this is a Statue of Liberty. That's all it is. Thank you, sir. I really do. God bless you. And then thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you.
On everything.
All right.
You and the Tate brothers and then Sterling Cooper and then Justin Waller and all of them. They did it. You did it. And how you told the young lady earlier, it's people like her. It's telling each other what it is. You have to tell one another, you did it. 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 I did it. We're all the shit. God bless you.
All right. Thank you.
God bless America. American Plus all the fucking way.
All right. Okay. Who's up next? Let's be speed round. I know I said that a million times, but speed round for real. One question or comment, then we'll fly.
Hey, Myron. My name is Marvin, and I just wanted to say what's up and everything. I really watch your streams. I was watching your clips sometimes pop up on reels and everything, so I would just see it and stuff. But recently, I've been watching your kick streams and everything, about the chud and everything. But even about what's going on with the world, how the economical powers are changing. How
Hit us with it, though.
China-
Hit us with it. What is the...
about China becoming a great superpower because we are the first global superpower, but we also have an opponent as China.
Yeah.
Which we shouldn't be really worried. But at the end of the day, if you understand how money works, about currency, gold and silver, but they stole our wealth from us after they stopped producing silver coins and everything. So we have nothing to back us up at the end of the day, only the petrodollar. About Sneeko, I heard him too about that, but I've been looking into it as well. And as well, if like we lose this Iran war, which I wouldn't agree on, but wouldn't they sell their the Chinese? Wouldn't they take the Chinese yuan? No, not yuan. That's
It's already
Japanese.
happening. Countries are already de-dollarizing ever since 2022. The dollar was used in about 70% of because we're the reserve currency status, and transactions now is down to about 56 to 55. So countries have already been de-dollarizing because of BRICS, and this happened after Russia was sanctioned in 22.
Yeah.
So it's and if we lose reserve currency status, it's going to be a serious problem for us.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, how BRICS and everything, because that's what.
But let me get the next person behind you, bro, because we got a lot of people.
Yeah, my bad, man. I just
No
wanted to say,
worries.
I like your content, man. You're really brave for you to doing this because, like, I look at you and you're really brave going out here because it's really dangerous because people can't handle the truth or something.
Yeah.
You know, somebody saying something, and then how Charlie Kirk. I wouldn't agree on everything that Charlie Kirk says, but at the end of the day, he had the will to speak his mind and what he believed in.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good.
Hit us
man.
quick. I want to get
How
through
are you,
everybody.
Myron? I just wanted to bring your attention to this issue. Have you heard of the case of Henry Nowak?
No.
He was this teenager in the UK that was stabbed by a Sikh man with a knife
Okay.
after this little altercation, and
Okay.
the cops would put him into handcuffs and have him bleed out because the Sikh man accused him of being racist. And I was thinking about your policy on like immigration. Do you think that immigration has sort of gotten out of control in general, or?
Yeah, I think mass immigration always leads to inherent problems. You bring in people a lot of times. With mass immigration, you don't get the best and brightest. You get people that come in from third world countries that might not have the same civilized mindset, rule of law, appreciation, and they come in and they take advantage. So mass immigration is a huge problem. Huge problem.
So I would just say like the UK is kind of farther along on that path because that's kind of where we're heading because in the UK the Sikhs can carry a knife but the citizens cannot. So
Yeah, I mean, the UK, Australia, these countries are cooked. They're far more progressive than we are. They don't have freedom of speech. They have mass immigration problems of their own to deal with, which we do as well, but we're not as like far gone as they are. So no, I agree with you that mass immigration is a huge problem. That's why I'm so supportive of ICE. So.
all right, well, I would just say it's interesting like because I was thinking about like with George Floyd, everyone was covering that. No one's covering the Henry Nowak thing.
Now, because it's foreign, so that like unfortunately most Americans don't care about mass immigration, let alone mass immigration in Australia. So that's why.
Yeah, that was in the UK. That's fair though.
Yeah, or the UK or whatever. But I see your
I'm just
point.
saying, yeah,
I see your point though is like you're bringing, mass immigration leads to inevitable problems, which I agree with.
It's a very very complex issue.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Thank you.
But yeah, that's it, man.
All right, guys. So I think that we got to close out. So, what was that? Oh, form a line. Okay, yeah. So guys, we're gonna form a line here, so I can go ahead and sign books and take pictures, all that other stuff. Thanks for coming out. It was awesome, man. Well, look forward to talking to and shaking some of your guys' hands. And okay.